Yeah, but you weren't just a second ago, and I actually can't find you right now.
Ah, yeah, I really have to. ah, dealing with the German internet providers is pain, guys. Spetsnaz
Just
GIUs moving
refreshing
around.
these.
And yeah, MI24P is here,
Okay,
moving back.
Yeah, now you're back.
The Rajvetka is here, sitting in the middle, Pulmachiki moving forward. What we missed, guys, was an MI24 killing of a Mistral. So that is pretty tough. And yeah, at the same time, AMX-30 getting killed off here. So the push of the 79th is working. The heavier division is doing the job here. And the helicopters are still alive. So this is an absolute disaster for the 5th. They need to find some kills now. And BloodyKnight is playing this great so far. Like, smoking off whenever needed. Microing the helicopters fantastically there. Mistral could get in range here potentially, but gets spotted by the Pulmachiki already, gets pushed back. TADPV IZD is getting involved here as well. Agona ATGM flying out, trying to get the kill there on the subplane. Not able to do so. MI24P getting killed off here finally. The Mistral still being able to kill that. That's a big misplay there by BloodyKnight. The first one in this game. One BMP2 going down as well, and that might maybe give Kahmal a slight chance to stabilize these things. Finally, the helicopters are down. The AMX-10 Sublime is still alive over here. And more AMXs are finally coming in. There are some BMP2s. There are some TADBVs. So...
Yeah, the Akatsia firing at the VBL Milan line here is quite smart. The BMPs and the tank holding together close by as a fire support unit, and the infantry getting forwards here. It's pretty textbook here. The only problem is that the BMPs are risking themselves against the ATGM line repeatedly, but I guess that is. That is the only way to find out where the ATGMs are right now. Spetsnaz crew should be getting close into a really good recon position, and this really good recon position will just multiply the damage of the Akatsias in practice. The ISD so far has been undamaged, and it can probably get in a really good position unless it gets side shot and flanked by the Surblinde, which is currently hidden inside the forest.
Yeah, MX-10 Brennus moving forward, Pulmachiki getting hit. And yeah, the Pulmachiki is here engaging, TDBV engaging the Dragon Para. Spetsnaz GIU still on the defense. The Akatsia from the rear getting involved here against the VAB Milan. I have to check what's going on YouTube here at the same time. Sorry, guys, but I have no idea why it still happens. I changed all my cables and so on. But yeah, I might have to find a new solution for the stream recording because my internet wasn't gone. I don't think.
Oh yeah, so Surblinde is currently in a great flanking position, takes out a BMP2, likely taking out a second one. The Brennuses are really close. The Brennuses were closing in on the ISD, but now the ISD spots them first because they stopped to fire at the Pulmachiki. Gets a hit in, but now has to run off because it is outnumbered, and the Brennuses guns, especially on these ranges, more than enough to damage the ISD or the T70, T80. Second tank has finally been bought, and it is going in to support the standard attack. Meanwhile, the center has been taken over and Razvedka has been put in to give excellent map control and widen the front line of 79th. 79th really can't risk allowing the enemy to control all of those flanks. One of the flanks is currently being taken by the Akatsias, trying to fire at those VAP and VBL Milans, and the second flank getting taken out by the small infantry attack. Supported, of course, by the mech. Everything is going in BloodyKnight's favor here. BloodyKnight is playing a very nice standard game. There's redundancy with the recon. There's not just a single Spetsnaz crew. There's a second one following it. There's also an extra BRM coming here to support the mech attacks. All of this is quite smart, but by the time the second T80 comes in here, the Kahmal's forces should be in way better positions, because if they keep on just kind of hanging around right behind the forest, all of this map control will allow BloodyKnight to start stripping and pushing the French into smaller and smaller spaces where they can't engage as well as they would like to.
Yeah, there's also still the possibility for BloodyKnight to just pivot north. The setup there is not all that strong for Kahmal. It's only a couple of recon units and some light infantry, no big ATGM setup or any MX-10s. So this is really pushable if you want to go for it. For now, the VABs here getting destroyed. A couple more kills for BloodyKnight, and the number of forces here with 3 BMPs and 2 T80BVs for sure is quite solid. More BMP2s already on the way. Akatsua here doing its job, trying to kill the VABs. And
side-shotting the T80.
Yeah.
Surblinde is a great unit in this this position here, and it does not get the second shot in, and actually gets countershot by the T80. But so far, the push has been delayed once more.
Yeah, Motostrelki BMPs still moving forward. Polmachiki under fire here. Rachevetka slowly moving forward as well. And the BMP2s get the ATGMs out. Start to go for the kill here. Find a hit onto the MX-10 RC. The ADBV IZD pushing forward. BMP2 pushing forward. Brennis gets hit. Tries to retaliate. Not able to do so. As the next Brennis gets hit as well. And smokes off here. Brennises stay alive for now, but the BMP2s, now that the Superblinde is down, can do a lot of more work here. And there's only 5 tanks here on the other side versus 5 BMP2s with the T80s. And that looks really scary here right now for Kahmal. The question is really, can Kahmal just keep on taking up here and then defend later on in India? Like, that could be an option to victory here, as they are already 500 points up now, but that obviously isn't easy. You still need to get some good trades in here, so they for sure want to hold on at the current position for as long as possible.
Yeah, the fact that there are BMP2 cards that are taken on 0 vet, that speaks to me of there being a lot of massing potential for BloodyKnight. And even if you get your 1,000-point lead and then retreat to India, we have seen these India fights happen. This is a Division 3 game, of course, so maybe the players don't always have the greatest tactical acumen and just keep on pushing forwards. But if Kahmal does not trade well against these, if Kahmal doesn't do damage, doesn't remove the BMPs and the T80s from the field, those BMPs and T80s might at some point figure out that they can just start moving into another location, move up north into Delta. And by that time, especially if the defenses are going to be the AMX-30s and ATGMs, the AMX-30s are only decent against the T80s on close ranges, and the Milans and the VBLs are not really capable of attacking and are always at risk when they're moved. So the mechanized force moving into another location could actually put Kahmal into a really bad position, which is why I think they are trying to engage this right now, losing into the BMP2 supported T80s repeatedly here, but not crushingly. The tank micro is decent enough, and there is always adequate supply to keep repairing these things.
Ooh, and there is a Jaguar AT now coming in. T80B in the north is in a bit of danger. The Jaguar, unfortunately, doesn't find the first missile, though. Good smoke micro there from BloodyKnight. And knows about the AMX-10RC in the corner. Doesn't have any recon around to find it, though. So the T80B and the BMP2s have to disengage there. VBL and VAB Milan's currently on the hunt for the T80B. The T80B VIZD in the front line also finding some infantry. Jaguar AT goes down, so another good kill here for BloodyKnight. And the steamroll of the BMP2 T80BV just getting bigger and bigger here. Finally a BMP2 falls, but commandos dying on the other side. More infantry here going down, and the numbers are just getting more and more in favor of the red side. Good resupply action here on both sides, but it's just that sometimes the blue unit dies and the red units are just not dying here.
Yeah, BloodyKnight is doing an excellent work on only engaging in the engagements where the Soviet equipment is superior here. The BMP2s are good units to push forward slightly because if they are targeted by ATGMs, they can just smoke off, and then all the other units move up and engage the units outside of the range of the of the ATGMs, now forcing once again the ATGMs to either move or the tanks to the Brennuses here, the AMXs, to engage in bad engagements. Now, right now we can see the T80s are fighting basically on max range against the Brennuses, and the Brennus damage is just nowhere near enough to do this. T80 is just constantly slugging away at these things, and only pushing the mech equipment into the forest after the Motostrelkis is it's a little thing, but it's very important. Having a flanking force of BMP2s down south here to keep imposing map control with the Conqueror's missiles and having missiles come from different directions. Like this is the wide front here is just completely unbeatable for the AMX-30s, and the widening front of Kahmal is being made irrelevant by this smoke play. Now even the BMP2s are just driving in and dropping infantry close by here. This is excellently done from BloodyKnight.
Yeah, and BloodyKnight really not losing any major numbers of BMP2s throughout this game. There's only 2 or 3 of them dying so far, and that's something that is so hard to achieve in this matchup, but he used the TADPVs so well as the frontline units. Wasn't lucky once or twice, but most of it was just really well executed micro there, and the 5th Blinde is such a class cannon. It has so much DPS. We saw the AMX-10s with good flanking positions, but they never got the kill. And the numbers of TADPVs and BMP2s just got out of hand here, but the numbers of AMX-30s and VBLs and AMX-10s never quite got the same critical mass. And at this point here, it's just looking like it is a complete collapse soon, as the tick should be stopping soon. The BRDM is finally moving in here. It's 25 minutes. It's nearly 1,000 points lead here for Kahmal, but it will be so hard to hold on here to the rear point. Like the 1,000 point lead is the only thing going for them right now, and the only slight sliver of hope on the horizon, but it won't be easy to keep that up.
Yeah, just the constant smoke barrage, even the fact that the 2 Motostrelkis have now put themselves into cutting off the reinforcement route. That forest there is big enough that you can hide infantry inside it, and it cuts off 2 different routes for French units to push, and it's just a concave is widening here. If you can reliably have control of this forest with the 2 Motostrelkis, the Motostrelkis can at the very least spot the reinforcements that are coming in on India, and if the India is only defended from India, that's going to offer a massive map control and concave advantage for BloodyKnight. At this point, I would generally say to most players, just stop attacking India. Right now, the enemy has invested most likely everything they have in fortifying it, and you have enough resources, so you can just go and attack the soft spot of the enemy. Just move north. But right now, I don't think that's even necessary, due to the fact that BloodyKnight has just won these engagements so reliably.
Yeah, BloodyKnight even being in that little forest in the middle that usually is so important to defend India with ATGMs from out there, means that the positions that Kahmal can use here for the defense are super limited, and his reinforcement even is in danger from over there. And the 2 Motostrelkis, he has nothing really that can easily dislodge them. There's only a couple of Eclairs coming in here, and they won't do that job. And the tanks can't go close to those RPG-7 VLs. So, yeah, I think BloodyKnight is just waiting for some repairs to go on, and then we're gonna see the final push here. Motostrelki is already on the way, even 1 TADB just being sent to the front line here with low hit points, but there's 5 tanks here already on the front line. 5 heavy Soviet tanks, but on the other side, it's 6 light to medium French tanks here, and they just don't stand a chance on the long range, especially not when there's also a lot of 20-pen Conquerors flying around. And yeah, the Razvedka made it in. Motostrelkis got melted there by the autocannons for a second, but Akatsia's still holding out. Smoke is coming around, and once the trigger is pulled here, I don't think there's anything to stop this.
Yeah, the Akatsya actually ran out of ammunition, and that's always a good sign if you're running out of ammo on your SPGs, like 18 or 17 minutes in, means that you're actively microing and using them constantly. The not to mention like the mortar, the first smoke mortar has also run out of ammunition. 80 shells of mostly smoke getting fired here, and right now we see Kahmal has to invest recon and buy forces to attack the small forest. Motostrelkis right now are gonna get wiped out fast, but but this is all buying time for the BRDM2s to push here and provide even more long-range coverage against this tank counterattack that is happening right now. Not that the T-80s really need that, but they are largely out of missiles, so the Conquerors are nice to have.
As Eclair's MX-30B2s and MX Brennus here still trying to hold the line. Motostrelkis start to get lit up. If you can get rid of a lot of the Soviet infantry, then there maybe is a way, but you need to get at least some of the tanks killed as well. And there's currently nothing here really that can do it. We finally see some AMX-10 HOTs trying to come to the front line again, replacing all the Milan 2 vehicles that have gone down before them. But they might not even arrive here in time. They are relatively slow, and they have so many units here to kill. More MX-30B2s coming in here to bolster up the numbers, to maybe get some kills. But the play between T-80BV and BMP-2 here just so well done on BloodyKnight's side. The BMP-2 is never really in a spot of danger. The forest finally got cleaned out here by Kahmal, so they have set up a bit better defenses here. But the smoke is now coming in, and behind that, I'm pretty sure the big push will come. And I just don't see how blue side defends that. 6 more BMP-2s on the way, another T-80BV, the artillery is constantly firing here, and all the tanks are now repaired and ready to go off again. So yeah, let's see how this goes.
Yeah, the BRDMs are now in position, and in just a second, as the VLRA pushes forward up the northern forest, reveals the amount of defenses out here. And now the Brennuses will be doing a lot of damage on the first vehicles that get in the range, or the first infantry, but they are very tightly packed together, and that means that they can be smoked off easily. Now they actually smoke themselves off here as the smoke barrage lands at the VBL Milan. And even with the MiG-29 preemptively guarding here against the enemy fighter bombers, and enemy fighters and AT planes are the standard way to strike back if your enemy is going over the top with expensive tanks. That's the point when the tanks expose themselves and push themselves slightly further away from AA coverage, giving the AT planes a chance to pick some kills. But that did not happen, and the Mirage fighter actually gets shot down.
Yeah, but we see a good couple of kills. The first T-80s went down, some BMP-2s and BRDMs go down as well. There's just still a lot of it on the battlefield. And now the first MX-30s fall on the other side. The micro couldn't keep up with it the whole time. Now one of them is routed in the north. The Milan 2 P4s here are being fired upon by ATGM as well. The Hot 10 finally arrive on the front line, trying to retaliate, getting a couple more light vehicles, but the kills here on both sides are pretty high. The BRDM-2U finally gets killed off. Another one is being brought up to try to replace all of this. So
Kahmal accidentally driving the supply inside the enemy zone.
Yeah, and we saw the BRDM going down. That might just buy a bit more time here. And if you can kill off the CVs as they come in, then you maybe can save it over the time. That CV may be a bit over-eager there from BloodyKnight, but he should still have a lot of CVs in the deck. And the T-80BVs and the BMP-2s here, they are still doing the work. MX-30s here under attack, another one goes down, another AMX-10 hot went down, and now the infantry comes in here, and there's none left on the other side, and we have the GG as Kahmal realizes that this is over, and BloodyKnight in a really, really strong fashion here, taking the 1-0 victory.
Yeah, I have to say it's quite a shame that the stream cut happened at the same time as the tide of the game was truly changing, and BloodyKnight was getting their first good engagements, taking over the middle citadel. But so far, I think this is just a proof of how well you. I mean, look at the Oktomsky, the kill feed on the first T80 that got bought. The T80B, ISC 29, is the only pack tank that can really be microed, because the only one with proper enough speed. And with the free Veterancy 1, it means that the Vet 2 is actually quite attainable. And as people are getting into the tank meta and recognizing the power of the radar optics provided cheaply by the BRMs and efficiently by the Spetsnaz GRU, not to mention the fact that BMP2s are just really good. It is the IFV meta in many ways, and the Conqueror's missile is just good enough, and 4 of them is just enough to be able to fight off and support tank engagements versus basically any tank, any tank in the game except maybe an H.A. Abrams. The not the Kub coverage here worked out very well. Good, efficient fighters with the MiG-29s. Also, the ability to get a lot of fighter bombers. The Su-25s. The 79th is really just getting into it. You know, you don't, if you only buy, you can only take a single helicopter, and you can open with that single helicopter supported by the jammer, as we saw happen in this game by BloodyKnight. And that single chopper, well microed, can actually get you some pretty nice kills against the more aggressive division, such as the 5e, or at the very least, it can stop the enemy from advancing and taking positions, giving you the time to get those extra BMP2s to actually start out your attack. I have to say, this is just a BloodyKnight, just controlling very well. It's very much a played map. It is the #1 long-range tank fight map, maybe, that gets played just because it's so old and so common, and people always play it in a pretty predictable way. And yeah, this is the result of people obviously practicing a tactic and performing it very well.
Yeah, really well done here. And that brings us to the next game, guys. Quick break, guys, and then we're going to be back with map number 2. So, map number 2 it is, everybody. And Kahmal now under pressure, as BloodyKnight is on match point here in this best of 3. And we are on Mount River with 5th Panzer for BloodyKnight versus Kahmal, bringing around the 6th US here. A division that we have seen a couple of times before with varied success, but they have actually done the job sometimes here. This is a weird map for them though, as we usually have learned this map is not great for air spam in the late game, and this map division is about the air spam, but at least it has a good seed plane to do so. Before we jump in here though, quick shout out to the Metrino page, guys, where you can get all of this stuff done and can support the tournament by contributing more money. And these players here, they still need to go up to 400 so that they have a chance of getting a bit of the prize pool. So if you want to support the Division 3 players, consider helping out the prize pool on Metrino. And yeah, let's jump right back in here, guys. That's not it. That is it. What do you think about Panzer here in this matchup?
5th Panzer is the most standard pick for this map, I think. 5th Panzer has the first spares, so they have the GSR recon. They also have the Rasits if they want even more ground surveillance radar recon, but the first spares tend to be enough. They interestingly, Aufklärers are getting brought in on Fuchses, which is quite weird considering that's just a 20-point unit that doesn't benefit the Aufklärer deployment in any way and gives you a slight MG3 only. And but yeah, the standard of going into the middle with a large force of mech and trying to power your enemy early on is this is one of the better maps to do that, I believe. And from what, because basically the plan is that you have the Leopard 1s and you have the Martyrs and you have maybe one Leopard 2 there to give you actual muscle. And then using the first spare and the recon advantage you gain from that, you just trade well early on, you get a bunch of kills, and then your enemy, who is supposed to be playing as the more aggressive, the airborne player, the Spec Ops unit player, you're not going to allow them to gain the close range fights that they want. You're only going to be fighting with cheap infantry, the Panzer Grenadiers, supported by a bunch of mechanized forces. And then when your enemy, all of your mech is in the middle here, your enemy will start trying to push the other sides, and they will start buying a bunch of ATGMs. That is when you move your blob and enjoy the early trades and possibly start scaling, because you have likely traded better if you do this correctly. But the problem is that if BloodyKnight gets involved in long-range infantry fights or close-range infantry fights, or if the mech aggro isn't aggressive enough to get those kills, then it could be that the mech becomes kind of dead weight. And if the enemy achieves a recon advantage and gets enough TOW2s around, which they most certainly can do with 6th US, then suddenly they might be trading up against your Leopard 1s and Martyrs. But so far, looking at the number of... there were going to be 2 SEALs going down south, and that would have been wasteful. Now, with only 3 Navy SEAL units getting bought here, I think that is like the maximum amount you can get in this matchup. Even just having 2 of them could be enough, I think, considering you have the airborne dragons out there.
Yeah.
But so far, it seems like Kahmal's opener is going to consist of infantry killers, and BloodyKnight seems to have taken the right option against this.
And yeah, we have Humvees coming around here, trying to get to the front line with some missiles, as Humvees here will try to get in there with some beautiful TOW2 missiles that can one-shot all those Martyrs, that can one-shot the Leo 1A5s as well. So yeah, we have a Leo 2A4 here, but against all the others, the TOW2 is a fantastic missile. And even against the Leo 2A4, it can one-shot it from the side, and it can do a lot of damage from the front as well. And you always have the option of the air spam that you have to take into account as well. And 5th Panzer, it doesn't have strong fighters to really match what the enemy can bring in the air, so they have to do it from the ground. They have roll-on 3s there, but those can be hit with seed, so maybe with the good seed planes that you get as well, Kahmal can also get some dominance in the air sector here, and then this game could become really troublesome for BloodyKnight.
Yeah, the fact that there are... Does 5th Panzer get Roland 2s, or is that just 5e?
No, they get Roland 2s as well, but they don't have them out here right now. Only Roland 3 for the beginning. And yeah, Roland 2 is a pretty suboptimal AA piece as well, so you usually want to use the Roland 3s, at least as much as possible, even if you have to micro them against seed from time to time, but it's just a way better AA piece with the better range and the accuracy compared to the Roland 2.
Yeah, but the Roland 3 is, of course, it is seedable and it is jammable by the Corsair. Or was it what's the seed plane called again? The ECM one? Well, whatever. The problem I think that Kahmal's opener has here is that all of this stuff, the airborne dragons, the Navy SEALs out here, it's not going into places where it really is going to be able to engage. The big difference is going to be on X-ray, of course, but there's already a Panzermörser on the field, and the Panzermörser can very easily smoke out that single TOW 2 as well as that supporting single Humvee TOW in the early game. And if the Humvee TOW has to start moving around the smoke, that means it's going to be vulnerable. It's likely not going to be getting the first shot, and the Leopards will just be able to take it out easily, even if it actually manages to engage. And oh no, there's an airborne dragon actually unrouted right now, which is a small little mistake for Kahmal that could pay off really badly. Now it does get a command.
I think it had a command the whole time. It was just moving weirdly into the whole situation there, and yeah, now it really gets a good move order, moving around a bit differently. Humvee TOW coming up, Humvee CVs coming up. The Fernspeers here, they're not going all that deep. The Aufklärer actually trying to go deeper than the Fernspeer is an interesting choice there, with the unit in the Fuchs, as the airborne dragon here coming along, the LRS coming along, the TOW 2 already in position, so yeah, I'm not certain that an Aufklärer actually will get where it needs to be, but it can smoke off to at least survive. And there we go, smoke dropped. Fuchs actually does get through there for a second. Gets involved into more action though, and should disengage into the smoke here. Doesn't do that. Ooh, yeah. Aufklärer wasted there in the middle. OH-58 here, checking around on the south. Minigun will find some targets, but the Aufklärer here in a building, so the Fox could help out as well against the minigun scout, and then that should be pushed back. Martyr behind all of this as well, as the early game here not starting all that explosive, but Kahmal at least getting the positions that you want to be in here as 6.
Yeah, TOW 2s are launching and they are firing, and they get smoked at the last minute by the Leopard 2. Now that the Panzer Grenadiers are out here, and there's even a supporting Schweiling AA gun, this engagement, as long as the smoke cover is up here, BloodyKnight is gonna get this, I think. There is not enough here to fight off. The Navy SEALs are going to be expensive bullet sponges once they get spotted, and they will automatically reveal themselves immediately as the Panzer Grenadiers get into any of these buildings. And the smoke cover, Panzermörser has a lot of ammunition, and there's even a Feldhaubitze howitzer bought very early on by BloodyKnight here to probably start taking out those ATGMs.
Yeah, Panzer Grenadiers moving forward, Leos moving forward, Martyrs coming in there as well. Iltis Führungs gets sniped in the north. The whole north has been wiped of red units, so BloodyKnight has to get something done here in the middle or take a lot of points taken away from him. As an A10 already on the battlefield, you need this middle here now, but there's only the single Roland 3 and the Zwilling here as AA, so you have to micro nicely against the A10 here as well. I'm not sure the Leo 2A4 still has a smoke ready to go here. Roland 3 coming in with the first missile, that misses. The Leo gets hit, the Leo gets killed, And Marder goes down as well, but the A10 likely will get out of here alive, and this is a big disaster already. Yes, not investing into second AA piece earlier here, really not great, and the missile there hits, but A10 still alive, and that is a huge mistake now by BloodyKnight and a huge issue for everything going on. He is still cleaning up the middle somewhat, but those forces that he just lost, they are really hard to replace at this stage of the game.
Yeah, that Schwilling not targeting the A10 was huge. Just a single point of damage and it would have gone down. Now it's going to come back, but probably around the same time as the next mech attacks are going to happen from BloodyKnight's side. Now, the Fuchs and Outclarer and Marder Force has caught off the incursion down south. So that is likely going to be stopped here in just a moment. But Kahmal has recognized that there is blood in the water here, buying a second OA, the Recon A10, to go after the Marder and support this airborne attack down south here. And with no fighter planes inside. Oh, and a third A10 coming here as well. Yeah, this is now Roland does push away the Recon A10 at least, but the Recon A10 did get its kills already, and Navy SEALs are pushing further here, taking out the limited fire support of the middle attack. And meanwhile, BloodyKnight is buying units, 2 tanks in the middle and 1 tank up north, but in with the main force gun and pretty limited recon advantage at this point, only having a single fair spare on the field, does seem like Kahmal is in a position to start getting really good engagements.
And Kahmal is also about to get to a +5 here, which is just a tick that you can't have up for the enemy for any longer amount of time. So you will just lose in 6-7 minutes here now. And that is an issue that BloodyKnight can't really fix right now. He finally has a second Roland, but his forces on the battlefield, they are really limited. He needs to get something done in the north. The Panzergrenadiers come in here, but what do you do here now with all those losses taken and the enemy still having their TOW2s ready so that your vehicles can't really move, still pushing yourself so that you have to find a spot for Lima, and 5th Panzer really not the best division to spread out thin across the line. So yeah, where do you focus? Maybe you can go for a deep push in the north, but even that, with the Air Force potentially coming in again, is not all that easy.
Yeah, the vehicles up north are going into the Navy SEALs 84 range, and with 3 shots left, that should be enough to take these out. Now, the artillery getting bought here, artillery is almost getting paid off, but unfortunately, Kahmal's forces are dismounted the church and are now going into Lima in the back point. No reinforcements coming in here. The mechanized infantry on 0-bet is going in the middle. Gonna keep on trying to get to the middle point. Second Leopard 2 is now on the field or on the fighting position. This time supported by 2 Roland 3s. But even with the damage done, the continuing reinforcements and the way faster reinforcements of 6th US are going to be on the field here. So every engagement basically for BloodyKnight needs to trade up, and the attack up north is not doing that. This is really bad position here for BloodyKnight. I really think that was the A10. The A10 was the thing. Having the Leopard 2 A4 get taken out.
And I don't get why he didn't invest into more AA here. Like, that's the only thing that you can lose to in the early game against 6 if you are careful. Like, sure, they can take a bit of ground against you with the airborne stuff, but the only thing that can murder you is the air tap. So not having 2 Rolands here from the get-go on a map that is so easily to control with your AA, if you set it up nicely, was just such a major mistake. And he at least gets a kill into a CV in the south, otherwise the situation would be even more dire, as the tick would be even higher, but his forces there have to come up quickly before the UH-1 can capture that. The Prowler is out now as well, so if the micro there is not happening, and I'm not sure it is, as the Rolands are still active, and the Prowler gets a missile out, gets 1 Roland killed, doesn't get the second one, but that's already devastating. That means the A10s can come around again, and this is just an absolute disaster. Leo 1A5's dying up north. The northern second push has been completely dismantled as well. Another Leo 1A5 dying in the center. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The TOW2s one-shotting those Leos is just an absolute disaster here.
Yeah, the artillery here has not paid off, really. It's been whiffing the last salvos. It's firing right now, getting a solid target on the AB TOW 2, but even that unit might actually move because it's getting a bit exposed here without the smoke covering it. No, it's going down, but losing the Mar de Milan reinforcement, getting taken out down south, having only allotting a single zero vet IFV to defend Lima. I get the logic of the zero vet martyrs here and the Panzergrenadiers. You want to have the numbers, and they are expendable, but for them to be useful and as expendable IFVs, you need to have the core mechanized force. And that one got blunted out really hard by the A10s. And right now, I think with the crossing 1,000 points, this BloodyKnight is just gonna have to go for it. I think that's the only chance here.
Yes, second Prowler coming around now. A10 not here yet, but yeah, BloodyKnight needs the center. There is still no CV on the battlefield. It's only 3.5 minutes. I'm not sure, even if he buys it now, it might just barely arrive in the center. So I think this game is already over. Finally, an Iltus is coming in, but that still will take a good while to the center, and it will only make it a +2 there, which at that point will have a really close tick as well, as nothing goes for the south, nothing really is set up to help out in the north. BloodyKnight needs to be super duper fast here after taking the center, and even that one won't be easy. Finally, the TOW 2s have been taken out, but Roland 3 goes down, the Leo 2A3 goes down. Oh no, it's a disaster all over again. The Humvee TOW from the north doing the job, the Prowler doing the job, and now the A10s can come in again, and they are already here, and this is just going from bad to worse here. As the A10s start to take out stuff as well, there's nothing here to stop them. Zwilling won't be able to keep them away, and yeah, there's an F4 now, but that is not really the unit that you fully need. Gets the first kill here, doesn't have missile for the second one, and the A10s kind of already did their damage. F15 now around to kill off the F4 as well, so that in the long run, Kahmal has the air dominance for sure. And that Kahmal was able to invest so much into air, so much into 300 points Prowlers, is just really showing how badly BloodyKnight took those losses early on in the ground. And those TOW 2s here are just absolutely devastating.
Yeah, do you know who was counterpicking? Who picked first? Because it would be very interesting to see.
In this game, it was Kahmal counterpicking BloodyKnight, so it was a 6 into the 5th Panzer, yeah.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense, because 6th as a standard pick is pretty weird, but 6th as a counter to the methodical and force-building mech gameplay that we saw in the last game, BloodyKnight 2 with 79th, it's pretty sensible that you take your specialized counter mech blob division right after getting losing so decisively against that mech blob tactic. The advantage of having both the airborne dragons and the Navy SEALs.
The Iltus just went down, so yeah, there's no hope left here. Nothing will reach the center here. BloodyKnight has nothing to take over this game anymore. And the KD here in the last couple of minutes after the first disasters actually was somewhat okay on the ground, but in the end still pretty devastating thanks to the air kills and so on. And Kahmal ties the game here with a really, really good show with 6. Really, really well done.
Yeah, as I was saying, the fact that 6th is a great counterpick against the standard playstyle of what we saw here of 5th Panzer. The reason there is because what you're supposed to do against a blob is you stretch the blob. You attack the places where the blob is not, and you put the blob on a timer, and then you force the blob to counterattack by having them on timer, and you build your game around these hard counters such as TOW 2s and A10s. And like the aggressive play of attacking the sides, taking and pushing the weaker sides when it's pretty obvious that the mech force is going to be on the middle, that paid off immensely. And even if the first A10 was shot down or if it missed against the Leopard and the attack could have continued, it still would have required a really good really good trade up against the against sixth. But I think it would have been doable. But without the Leopard 2 and without taking out those planes when they came in, yeah, that was knowing that the Prowler was going to punish any kind of mass AA gameplay. This was very smartly done from Kahmal. I think I enjoy, as everybody should know at this point, I really like when divisions have their competitive counter picks like this, and strategies have their competitive counter picks. And I'm really happy if sixth is going to be the anti-mech blob division.
Yeah, really, really well done in the setup here from Kahmal. Really planning this out nicely, and so we have a real series here at hand with the decider game coming up next, guys. So don't you run away. This seem to be two players that are set up on equal footing after all, even though both won in one sweeping game so far. So let's see if the last game will be a sweep as well, or if it will be a close fought one. Quick break, guys, and then game number 3. And we come to the decider match on Two Lakes, and we have the matchup between both divisions that got a victory so far, as Kahmal is bringing around the 6 US that we saw last game, and BloodyKnight is bringing back the 79th that we had in game number 1. So this time around, again, it is just like in game number 1. Counterpick here from BloodyKnight, counterpicking the 6 US with the 79th, so saying that our divisions can work there, and let's see if they do. The bands here, pretty standard and similar to game number 1, or actually exactly the same as in game number 1. So no big difference here, and this should be a really interesting one here.
Yeah, so this is Two Lakes, so I would immediately say that this is an underdog position from Kahmal. Unlike on Mount River, where you can actually push those sides and you can force the enemy to spread their resources, you can't do it here, not unless the enemy for some reason decides as an armored division to attack and take Oscar. Now the distance between Oscar and the two back points is just too big, and they are too easy to defend. And BloodyKnight even opening by putting in a BMP2 to cover against any backline incursions, realizing that the tactic that won the game, or at least shortened the game last game, could actually get repeated here. The AB Stingers here will be a great choice to counter against the potential Mi-24V or Mi-24P opener, but that one is not coming from BloodyKnight's side. Instead, investing in the only way that you really reliably can win this as an airborne division, which is 2 leaders in the opener. Humvee CP goes into Papa and Oscar, and then a UH helicopter goes and tries to get Lima. You try to get the points advantage and the tick advantage as early as possible, because if you can't take Zulu in your opener infantry attack, if you get pushed out of there and you're forced to basically try to get back in there, you can't do that if there's a T-80 watching you. At least it's going to be extremely difficult. So relying on trying to do both the Navy SEALs and AB Stinger push, which is the smart one. You don't want to invest in too many infantry units, as the Navy SEALs can just fight off anything that comes. Navy SEALs go in there, take out enemy recon, fight off enemy infantry units, secure the reinforcement routes, and then a reinforcement of 100 kph infantry, airborne, all of these, go and hold Zulu. That is the only tactic that you really can do here, aside from the attempting to sit behind a very, very thin lead of like 100 points you gained by buying multiple leaders.
Yeah, you can also maybe start to try to do an air thing towards X-ray later on, when we have the front line established, and try to overwhelm there with a quick pivot with some infantry and vehicles on the ground, and then a lot of air. Like we have seen that work in the past as well with air-heavy divisions, but it's not going to be easy. We have double coup this time from the start from BloodyKnight, so there shouldn't be a reoccursion of the issue of last game where the A-10 just can't fly through. But they are obviously radar AA as well, so they should be microed against seaplanes here. Otherwise, BloodyKnight might have a similar issue as in game number 2, where the air just got every AA and then killed the rest of his units. So let's see if BloodyKnight can keep it a bit more together this time around. And what I would like to see from BloodyKnight is moving around Zulu, just isolating it in there, keeping mortar fire on the town to attrition the units away inside, and then just kill off all reinforcements coming in, and then slowly but surely clean up Zulu later, because I don't think S39 you can afford taking fights with the infantry of 6 directly, so you need to find a bit of a different way around that.
Yeah, 79th, especially 79th, which has way less infantry than 39th. The BMP2s, I believe there is, in the earlier games, there were a lot of zero-bet BMPs, which is good because it allows you scaling potential in the late game. And if you go in there supported by 8 BMPs, there's very few things infantry-wise that can stop you. But this means that BloodyKnight needs to have the patience, needs to try to not contest too hard. And I think the fact that there's only like that no units are even going in there, the Rasvedkas are completely surrounding the not entering the town, that is the right choice. That is the correct choice. Pretty obviously, there's nothing that you can do against the Navy SEALs except try to get them with an opener bomber or something, and that's not reliable enough to do.
Yeah, Humvee toes here moving around. I also want to point out that the user named sitting in chair just redeemed that I stand up, which I find pretty funny. But yeah, BMP2s and T80BVs here coming in. 120mm mortar, smoking off the north. That's a pretty key play here, trying to keep the TOW2 from getting any BMP2 kills, whilst allowing those units to get close enough to just light up the TOW2. It gets a shutout nonetheless. TDBV gets a bit of stress, good smoke there. But yeah, BloodyKnight takes it slow. That's the right approach. You shouldn't rush into the Navy SEALs. You can take them on later on. You can afford being down a tick on this map. So yeah, playing it slowly here, 79th, absolutely the right choice. Alaskan Scouts getting lit up quite nicely. And the forces of BloodyKnight, I guess, want to build up similar to what we saw in game number 1.
Yeah, the game number 1 strat here is the way to replicate this is to just instead of investing into a lot of the T80s, just double down on the BMP2 gameplay. BMP2s, as I said earlier, very powerful, and they are expendable enough at 60 points, and you can get them at 0 vet, and they can still serve very well in the fire support role. Right now, we're seeing them. A little bit of smoke micro, 3 BMP3s easily pushes through the TOW2, and now with infantry, all 3 infantry reinforcements, all of them are going inside the town, including the USAF security forces, which don't have AT weapons, which is a pretty significant issue here. I think the AT is what needs to be invested in. I think BloodyKnight is just going to be smarter than going into the town. Rasvedka and Spetsnaz crew are providing a little bit of spotting here right now, and the firing line will take them out if Kahmal allows it.
Yeah. Currently on a +3 here, about to go on a +4 for a bit, and then a +2. Getting a couple of 100 points lead already, which is nice, but the losses of the northern forces here, the good cleanup there from BloodyKnight, the well setup with push there with the smoke mortar, and good smoke micro on the BMPs and the T80, really made that northern position a nice spot now for BloodyKnight, and they now can go for what I was talking about earlier, that envelopment around the zones. But TOW2 coming at the same time into the south here, so yeah, Pulmachiki being sent into a town, that wasn't the right idea. USAF security and Navy SEALs there doing a good job, and now we have a decent amount of TOW2s in the north again. So BloodyKnight needs to find a different way. Artillery and rocket helicopters, they could do the job here. On the other side though, ooh, Corsair coming in with an ATGM. Nope, immediately sniped down. Yeah, BloodyKnight starting way better into this game than in the last one. And Kahmal will have to find a new way of solidifying their lead here.
Yes, swatting it out of the sky. That was that was very key. Even it was targeting a BMP2, not the 80. But even if it had managed to get off and retreat with a seed friend, the Prowler, then suddenly the Coups would have been constantly under threat, and the mech force would have been constantly under threat for the Corsair returning. Those things are pretty expensive for their stats because they have a lot of ammunition. So every time you lose them, that's like a minute's worth of income, and that's minutes worth of income that was not put into TOW2s, and TOW2s are already quite expensive.
Yeah, BMP2's here now, trying to start to clean up on the south, allowing the infantry to push in, helicopter coming around as well. There is a Stinger, so the units have to be careful, but every TOW2 cleaned up is a nice one. BMP2 actually cheaper than a TOW2, so trading 1-to-1 there, absolutely fine. LRS go down as well, and BRDM actually trying to get in here. Ooh, that might be a bit overeager. Navy SEALs will go on the hunt here, as MI8 goes down. Meanwhile, BMP2s and TADBV still holding the line in the north, fighting up against more TOW2s there. Oh, BMP2 there gets overwhelmed. BRDM goes down as well, and some important succession of kills here for Kahmal. That BRDM 2U for sure overeager there from our player in red. Doesn't need to be that fast, has the Katsia out, has a lot of units around all of this, so I'm not quite sure why that was taken so aggressively there.
Yeah, the Mi-8 rocket, which was doing good work, also got taken out by the Stingers here. So a big chunk of firepower getting out here. But with the Motostrelki managing to push through down the southern flank with the support of the Mi-8, I think the Mi-8 served its purpose. The Motostrelki will now be able to basically walk to the area with the TOW2A right now, but they're not doing that because they don't have the recon knowledge. Oh man, the A10 recon getting shot down, not shot down, but turned back immediately as it tries to get into the airspace. huge, very expensive. Every single cube hit is a large step towards victory here for BloodyKnight.
Yeah, BMP2 is now trying to help out against the units in the middle. The Toad 2 has the line of sight though, so the BMP2s here, this time around, 2 of them going down. Like, this is way more attrition than we saw in game number 1. And the Toad 2 number on the other side lately hasn't quite dropped as much. We've seen more infantry here coming in for the US side here. Toad 2s coming around. The M48 still surviving, and it's the first time that Kahmal really starts to get some decent traits here in comparison, as the BMP2 tries to come around again. But the infantry here just getting shredded in the middle, and the Toad 2s, they're not dying, and they keep on generating value here. So the Acacias and the BMP2s really have a lot of work cut out for them, as those two 2s, they need to die.
Yeah, though on the other hand, the 600 point lead here, which is probably gonna go at let's say around 1,000 points, at maybe 800 something before the leader gets in here. That number is not gonna be that big if the trades against the BMP2s don't happen. The BloodyKnight has shown before that they are completely willing to play carefully and play slowly. The methodical style works really well with 79th, where numbers are easily attainable with the BMP2s. And I think this is, with even more smoke mortars getting bought in here, this could now become a situation of Kahmal being on a tick, but slowly trying to push away this mech incursion and losing units slowly against the BMP2 fire. But so far, there are 2 supply trucks for Kahmal and third one coming, and so the Toad 2s are not going to run out of missiles anytime soon.
Yeah, and 4 BMP2s have died in the last couple of minutes. A lot of Motor Strikers just getting annihilated running into the Navy SEALs blob here in the center. And the artillery is not quite on top of this. It still tries to kill Toad 2s. Not really successful at that though, as there's still a decent numbers there. And these infantry units in the center here, they are a massive issue. They can keep the CV out of there. They just deal a lot of damage in those infantry versus infantry fights. So fire support is needed to win this, but it's not easy to bring around. The snowball effect in this game, far from where it was in game number 1 for BloodyKnight, but they are still starting to do it here.
Yeah, the fact that the fact that Kahmal can't actually go into a secondary front easily and start forcing the enemy to start moving their BMP2s and tanks around the place, to start using their artillery or even panic buying helicopters and air units. The fact that the map doesn't allow for that is a huge hit against Kahmal, because as we can see, even with the Navy SEALs and the security troops, the fire support is taking them out. 0 vet fire support, safely shooting at them and doing reliable damage, pushing the enemy into more and more tighter corridors where the artillery can do damage to them.
KDBV getting involved in the north. BMP2 there, trying to get some kills against the Humvee Toes. Toad 2 gets smoked away, but the BMP2 still goes down. And yeah, those numbers of IFVs here just not as impressive as in game number 1. There are still 5 of them here on the front line, so it's by no means nothing. But as long as the Acacias can't hunt down the Toad 2s on the other side, the BMPs will have a tough time of really getting full-on control here. Another Toad 2 shooting, it luckily does miss, but the next one here in the south, does miss as well. That's not quite what the blue side hoped for here, not quite what Kahmal wanted, but still, it's a solid game here right now. 800 points about to be achieved, and Kahmal is still holding out. No bigger air spam here with seed planes or anything. The planes that we have seen, they didn't do so well. So it's instead of pretty ground-focused 6US, which is kind of unique.
Yeah, I mean, in the late game, you can buy a couple of them. You're probably running out of things to buy at that point, and you can send a wave of them to stop the enemy in the last stretches. Do like a mass bombing campaign, carpet bomb the enemy side of the town. But that's not really relevant at this point. Because even if you manage to get the town for Kahmal and the infantry could push the enemy out, the infantry would just be walking into autocannon fire.
Yeah, M48 here. Ooh, starting to get shot up, but BMP2 numbers still dwindling, and this time around, BloodyKnight is not quite getting the kills that they want. They still have good numbers here, but the artillery not getting the TOW2s. BMP2s getting picked off a bit too easily in this one, as the TADBVs don't quite want to stand in those missiles. And this is starting to look pretty problematic for the Team Red.
Yeah, Mi-24P is here, but it just got shot at by the Stinger, and BloodyKnight is obviously scared of pushing it too far forward because it's expensive and a unit that comes one per card. And yeah, the Kahmal's side, even the southern flank here, which was the best place for BloodyKnight to attack earlier on, is now fortified with 2 tanks and 2 Humvees, and they're not even in a firing position. They are there to peek out if the enemy tries to move throughout the area. The artillery is not getting the results that you would hope for. The mortars have not been firing for some time now. One of the mortars has not is on full ammunition, and the Acacia also. The recon advantage here for Kahmal is pretty significant. Like BloodyKnight has vision on some stuff up north, but Kahmal sees the helicopter, sees the BMPs south, the southern BMPs, and sees everything up north here. With the so right now these attacks are going in relatively blind.
Yes, US Air Force security here, trying to get to the front line as well. Humvee TOW goes down. A couple of good kills towards the blue side, but Iltis getting destroyed in a counterattack. BTRs getting stunned down. Mi-24 still trying to find some solid job down here. There is a Stinger, so they have to be somewhat careful, but gets a hit against the M48. Second one would be great, but goes down beforehand. And yeah, red side is starting to run out of solutions here. Needs to get some artillery online to really do some damage, but so far the Acacia hasn't quite done that.
Yeah, the Acacia is going and taking out the TOW2s, but with 2 cards of TOW2s as well as the Humvee TOWs, Proton Zero Vet, of course, the numbers are just way too much for a single Acacia. And now Kahmal even spotting the Acacia, putting on the attack beacon to mark itself for himself, and buying 2 howitzers to do close range counter battery, I believe.
Yeah, and the Humvee TOW here from the south, trying to get some long shots there as well. Trying to get the Panzermörser. And that one, ooh, barely moves. Okay, that is good. But everything else, yeah, 950 points ahead now for blue side, and it's still 24 potential minutes, but it just seems so balanced here.
Yeah, this I mean, Kahmal has been playing this excellently. Like the unit, it's pretty obvious that Kahmal is comfortable with this division. And even though I don't think this is a certain win so far, BloodyKnight could get a series of bad engagements. Kahmal has been really good at not overextending in the slightest. The only actual pushing that gets done is done with infantry units, and the infantry units are the most expendable part because you're always going to have more infantry than whatever 79th can bring out. And it is the fact that the infantry is out there, it is to prevent the Spetsnaz GRU moving forwards. And right now the Spetsnaz GRU are forward enough, and the the fighting line of Humvee tows gets hit badly, and finally the smoke comes back here to prevent them. And is this? Yeah, I think this is the moment here. There is a airborne dragon here in a really nice position to side shot some vehicles. The ACAV tanks, the M48s, with the modern ammunition, old tanks, modern ammunition, are going to peek in here, and they are going to have so much damage against the BMP2s, with a TO-55 even getting out here in the front.
Yes, and especially GAU getting taken out, BMP2 getting taken out, so the push power here of the red side is somewhat depleted. There are still a lot of tanks, but they can't take these villages on their own. You need to find another solution, and that's a big problem. AO-10 coming in, the Coops, yeah, still reloading, finally coming out. Only one Igla, most likely also a bit little, but at least the plane goes down. As we see more and more units coming in here for the blue side, red doing the same on the other side, but it's getting really rough here. The town fight is something that they invested way too much into, and they never found a way to use the armor elsewhere. And oh no, the Corsair just outright murdering everything here. That's GG. Like, there's just nothing left here at this stage.
Yeah, the BloodyKnight actually had like a pretty significant defense down south here, southern part of the town here, with a T-80, a BRDM, and a BMP2. And this is the fact that you're defending using these units when you're actually trying to push through an enemy strong point up north here. That's just not efficient. I think BloodyKnight really. I'm not sure what could have been done here, except, well, just play better. But I agree with you in that it should have just, especially early on, before the tow network was online, just trying to bypass the town, trying to get recon units in the area, the forest that currently holds all those ACAV tanks. Having that area and being able to move there would have completely cut off the reinforcements into the town. We already saw that BloodyKnight was capable of conquering the southern side as well, but instead chose to go into the town, where even though there was a bunch of fire support out there, the infantry still died, even if the fire support did do damage. And the damage they did was not relevant enough to prevent the enemy from just healing their units and resupply and getting more of them in.
Yes,
series of bad attacks here and a series of bad tactical choices, I think.
The Akatsu is also never quite hitting their mark. Like, too many TOW2s that were under fire and got out undamaged, something that you can't afford. And the amount of TOW2s just kept moving with mechanized forces pretty tough. So maybe some counter airplay, but that is not easy, and for sure just a better control of the BMP2s again. You have to keep them further away from the buildings, and yeah, that really was a big struggle. Saperi command goes down, some other Saperis going down as well. The TADBV here, the only kind of units here still left standing together with the TO-55, some tanks, but there's nothing in front of these tanks. There's not a single infantry unit currently unloaded in the north. 2 more BMP2s coming in, but this situation is really, really dire.
Yeah, the T-80s alone are not good enough to do anything. They require recon, they require BMP2s, they require infantry. If a single lone main battle tank like that, the only thing you should do with it is retreat.
Yes, and yeah, Kratz,
but a wave of infantry is coming.
And yeah, that is the last glorious hurrah here. As obviously BloodyKnight doesn't want to give up. BloodyKnight wants to move on here, but it's 1,300 points already. Artillery firing to the north, and at this point 1,300 points starts to become an issue as well here, as there's currently no CV. And yeah, we see a GG being called. BloodyKnight gives up, and Kahmal wins the whole series, moving on to the grand finals with a really, really scary show of 6 US. I'm pretty sure they won't be able to play this in the finals, but a really great show of how to play one of those divisions with a lot of success.
Yeah, BloodyKnight currently holds a rank 54 on the ladder, so absolutely not an easy opponent. And Kahmal just the I, the fact that you have these Navy SEALs units that like destroyed 6 infantry squads, an airborne dragon that killed 3 BMPs and 1 TO-55. These the kill feed here tells of a story, and the story is inefficient usage of fire support. I think over reliance on the BMP on the IFV meta.
Yeah, and that means we will have Kahmal versus I've Won the Internet in the grand finals, so that one should be pretty hot, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Third place match between Cheeky Pricky and BloodyKnight. It's not the end of the world for BloodyKnight though. They still got into the top 4, which saves them a spot into next season's Division 2, so that is nice. And yeah, once more, if you want to support these players and if you want to get Kahmal slightly more reason to fight in this, check out the Matcherino page. And also, if you want to get into some tournament action, then come in for the May 2v2 tournament, which is starting soon at the 17th of May. Lovely Saturday one-day tournament here. So get your best friend and join us for some 2v2 action there. One-day action coming along, and then we're gonna have the league sign up for next season coming up this weekend as well. So get ready for that too. But yeah, with that said, quick break, guys, and then we're gonna be back with map number 3. So let's go right into Division 2 here. As we have one more semifinal here to go through with MEddi versus Bendover. And that is a really hot one. A new face to the community with Bendover versus one of the veterans and one of the sneaky guys here in MEddi, fighting for the spot to fight Jeremy here. So I'm really excited. And the first matchup has me really excited as well because it is Bendover on the cheeky, sneaky 6 US division here. But MEddi is playing a division that on paper looks a lot more normal. But what he is doing with it here already isn't. As what is MEddi up here to? With a lot of scimitars, some Royal Military Police, some Gazelle Rockets, a lot of Rover Milans. Like, this is not how you usually play the first UK.
Are you sure it's actually Royal Military Police? I believe reading somewhere that it's Regimental Military Police, but I could be wrong about that. But yeah, the reason to take the RMPs here is that they are 45 points with the Rover. Rover transport is 100 points. You get good optics with the security trait, so if they stand still, they can kind of work as recon a little bit. And, they have a machine gun, which is better than a lot of military police units get. Now, why the RMPs and why not the faster option of Terrier's Para? Probably because the Terrier's Para are too expensive or for the purpose. There are SAS patrols and there are also Scouts Law 80, but I believe the soft damage dealing HE units here are going to be the Scimitars. The Scimitars with 55 points and 80 kph road speed and the recon forward deployment basically means that they are the fastest way to get an autocannon out there in the front. So if you get them out, if you get them there, if you can have them supporting your RMPs, if you can have them supporting your recon units, you can start the killing very, very early. And if you can start the killing very, very early, you can also transition into your chieftains, into warrior appliques, or even air spam, which is quite nice with the first UK, though obviously nowhere near as powerful as with sixth infantry. Now the gazelles here, only 3 gazelles, just enough to kill an infantry squad or 2, but the threat of the gazelles is the most crucial one. If you can find a Navy SEAL squad and take it out with gazelles, that is of course amazing. But currently Navy SEALs are only going into the landing zone area of Bravo, and Bendover is trying to take Bravo, is going to take Bravo with force, and the more northern investment for MEddi is kind of going to bypass a lot of this. There are like VADs, there are Humvee tows, all of this stuff going to fight this important area between Bravo and Charlie to defend it. But will those units stuck on Bravo, will they be able to actually externalize themselves outside of Bravo and not just become a wasted early buy that can later on be dealt with artillery and bombers?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's also interesting to see what MEddi has decided on for follow-ups to all of this, and yeah, how the light ATGM carriers here. There are some ITO National Guard forces here coming in, so I like that for Bendover. That 50-point unit is a lot better to deal with the scimitars than the Humvee tow, which for 80-point is nearly costing double what the scimitar is, and the National Guard ITO kills us just as well. So I like those cheaper forces there, but yeah, they have a lot of light forces to kill up here in the north. Also, it is Royal Military Police. I was pretty certain, but I also double checked, and they are one of the few army branches that are allowed to carry the Royal in front of it.
Intriguing.
And yeah, Stolly's here coming around. Milan coming in here. If that Milan can get where it wants to be, it can be pretty threatening to the Alpha Charlie reinforcements, and that could be really, really crucial here. Scout laws in the north as well. Like, yeah, this is a interesting play here from MEddi from the right side. just ignoring Bravo altogether, and that makes sense he's up against a division that has fantastic infantry that can win that forest fight nearly 9 out of 10 times against you here. So first UK trying to play for the open fields and trying to play the maneuverable warfare is for sure the right choice. And yeah, into the action we go.
Yeah, with the recon heavy opener here is going to mean that there is, even if like half of the opener gets taken out, there's still going to be some recon on the field. And that recon will allow for, will work as a force multiplier for bombers, for aircraft, and even like chieftain attacks. Tanks, of course, as everybody here knows, are only usable if they are supported with recon, especially against infantry divisions. And the SAS patrol getting really dangerously close here. Nope, SAS actually jumping out, doing the smart, safe move, and getting themselves up on that plateau and giving the gazelles and scimitars immediately. Oh, the LRS gets taken out. That's a big, nice kill right at the start.
Yeah, rockets from the gazelles coming around, softening up the airborne dragons. Now the SAS patrol can take that fight. Scimitars already hunting for more damage here as well. Humvee Tow is here in the rear, so the Scimitars need to be careful. Smoke micro needs to be there. As the first Scimitar there just moves on. Okay, that's most likely ending in death, yes. But at the same time, Rover hunting on the Humber now. And, oh, Humvee gets out there just last second. Corsair being bored immediately, bombing the Scimitar here. That's not a super cost-efficient bombing run, but at least it removes the threat from the front line right now. The southern zone for sure gets captured. Question is, how much deeper can MEddi push in the north? And can MEddi control the Charlie zone?
MEddi Sultan was uncommanded, only now starting to move out there. Also, MEddi buying 2 AVREs, anti-infantry siege via tanks to go to Charlie here. And the Corsair actually comes in 4 seconds and gets hit by the tractor pier. That's a huge... Oh, and gets taken out! That's a huge problem. Huge misplay of sending that thing to do a second pass, especially when you already saw that there were tractor piers on the ground.
Yes, and the Gazelle cannons and rockets we have seen it too many times in the past. They're just not worth strafing. If you take them out, you take them out, and if you don't, you don't. But don't hunt them with your planes. Even if you get the kill there, a trade is always not worth it against those 20-point units. The VADS here coming in, that is nice for Bendover, sending up infantry killer there, the SAS patrol. Oh no, they moved into the building again and they get taken out. So Bendover can return into the middle here. Gets pushed pretty hard in the north though. Gets a Cobra out. Scimitar's there, not wanting to take the fight. Tractor Pier not around. The Cobra, really good investment here. That one should be able to hold the front line for now, as the Tractor Piers are not in position to follow that up yet. But Centurion AVRE is coming around. More Tractor Piers. M109. Like, the follow-up of MEddi here is intriguing, and I'm really interested to see how the fight in the north here now starts to play out.
Yeah, the Cobra ran out of rockets, and now it really can't fight against the Scimitar. The Scimitar autocannon driving it off here. The Cobra only having a 40mm grenade launcher, and that's not good enough in this case. The Scimitar has 3 front armor.
Navy SEALs getting taken out by the Scout Law 80s. Really valuable kill there for MEddi, and it's just such a great sneak attack. This is the MEddi that we love to see, getting his units into super annoying positions time and again. Royal Military Police just gets absolutely shredded by VADS, but the Cobra goes down as well, and yeah, this is for sure a game that we have at hand here between 2 strong, fast players, and MEddi just making it exactly as wild as he wants it to be. LRS here pushing forward. Humvee AGL got taken out, but they get the Spartan, so a good trade there for Bendover so far. Has one of the M48s coming around as well. As we get some Warrior Bleaks, we get the other 3 Gazelle rockets around, and the M109 here pushing really close to the front line. That could be a menace as well.
Yeah, currently MEddi is scaling up hard, getting the 2 AVREs, getting an artillery piece, and 4 warrior obliques vetted up, coming up. And the warrior appliques will be the actual fighting force here. All the opener has managed to do has take all of these amazing positions, and now it is this is from MEddi's part. I actually get this. I get this very well. Getting the defensive network of Milans and taking out the slow tanks, the vehicles, the potential reinforcements. This now forces Bendover to attack, despite there being a no point lead or tick going on either side. And if Bendover is forced to attack, now you can see the side shot taking out the ACAV. That's not the best position for 6. 6 does not want to attack, especially not against specialized anti-infantry vehicles such as the Centurions.
Yeah, and Scimitar here helping out, beating the VADS, helping out against the Pathfinders now as well, and as the Centurions pushing forward, and the Warrior Applique moving forward, it is getting pretty problematic here. The Centurions, they are really solid against what is there right now, if they can get their aim on target. The Navy SEAL reinforcements are nice. The A-10 here coming around. Ooh, can that find the tractor up here? No, it's going for the AVRE. The AVRE not able to smoke off, so tractor up here only doing some damage here. A-10 did get a kill. Is pushed out at least, but for now, Bendover with maybe enough forces here with the Navy SEALs to hold on for a bit longer. Armored Rifles pushing in. Centurion, has to be careful to not get side-shotted by the 84, as the US Marine Corps security forces there try to get it around. Warrior Appliques shouldn't be here. They don't hit ATGMs well, and AT rockets from the 84 here. Armored Rifles pushing forward. Warriors moving around. We finally have a take here for MEddi. Bendover with a big push from the south here. M48's hunting down the Sultan there. M109 in a bit of danger as well. There is only AVRE Centurions. There are no normal tanks here for MEddi. This is going to be disaster if MEddi is not careful. The AVRE is buying a bit of time, stunning down, smoking off. One of them went down though. Sultan did get killed off as well. So yeah, MEddi is winning out slowly in the north, but that real line action here, fantastic for Bendover. Really getting a good amount of value. Warriors struggling in the north as well, but the Navy SEALs about to die. But the real line action here really, really well. Lynx Hellarm is coming in to try to rescue the situation. Should be able to at least push back the M48s. They don't have smoke, so Hellarm can do a good amount of damage here potentially and kill them off as well. As at the same time, Napalm! People called that intruder useless. It might not do much after all. It gets killed off. But it's interesting to see the Napalm Intruder being the weapon of choice here for Bendover. It's a unit that I have seen so many times being made jokes about. So seeing it used here in Division 2, interesting choice as the Armored Rifles keep on pushing. Rover and Scimitars here really deep for MEddi, but at the same time, yeah, MEddi has to be careful to not lose his real line either. The M48's still alive, Hellarm not able to kill them off, and it can't really follow any deeper as there is a VADS. This game is going exactly as wild as we want the MEddi game to be.
Yeah, the howitzer had to move a little bit to escape from the ACAP push, but now it is aiming at the area around the VADs. If it gets a nice hit against the VADs, that could, not to mention the ITO here, that could actually remove most of the defenses here. Second hit going in, taking out the ITO, and the Scimitar is actually watching the back line and not in the greatest position to kill reinforcements, but can completely spot them for MEddi.
The US Marine Corps getting taken out in the north, as more warriors coming in here for the center for MEddi. MEddi on the +1. And yeah, this Scimitar is just in a fantastic position. The Stolly reinforcing all the units in the center there, really important as well. Alaskan Cav Scouts with the RCL pushing some armored rifles back. And the Scimitar keeps on seeing everything rolling by. But finally a Chieftain comes in here. Chieftain Mark 11. Interesting choice here of tanks by MEddi. just going completely off meta, playing with a lot of AVREs, playing with Chieftain Mark 11s. Like, the AVREs are not terrible, but you have the Warrior Pleaks already, so usually they are not necessary in this deck, but it's a MEddi game alright here. The Sultan
the
coming for the
artillery!
center. Yeah, the artillery getting decent hits there. VADS and some dragons already getting taken down. Some more trucks going down. Infantry has to be careful to not run deeper into it. Scimitar tries to do some more damage in the rear, but gets taken out by 2 Cobras there. So that finally is settled, but the +1 here got MEddi into the lead now, and MEddi is setting up for a big Charlie push, as Bendover still is busy retaking his zone in the north here.
Yeah, the currently, if this is what MEddi wants is obviously the Centurions to just immediately do massive damage against the expensive infantry units, to allow for his own infantry to take these positions, and losing those 2 Centurions into the ACAB push is of course one thing, but now being forced to fight close quarters against the Navy SEALs, and the AVRE armor is not enough to fight against the AT4s. 2 AT4 hits, 3 actually, will just take it out, and does immediately. Now the armored rifles and the RMPs are forced to get in close ranges against the most HE damage dealing squad in the game. Not the most, but on the NATO side at least.
And yeah, there we come in with the M109. Getting some good hits against the infantry in the rear, but not against the Navy SEALs on the front line. So yes, the RMPs here will get pushed out. 81mm mortars trying to deal some damage against the Navy SEALs, but they will keep moving. Javelins and tractor up here against the A10. Oh, the A10 actually going for the mortars, going for the tractor up here, getting the kill there. Unfortunate times. And the Tornado is being hunted by the Eagle, and with the tractor up here not there, nothing is there to stun that. Tornado goes down as well. A couple of really bloody losses here for MEddi so quick in a row. Though MEddi is now about to strike into the center, and he has the Navy SEALs already down by a lot. Bendover overextended with them for a bit, so Chieftain Mark 11 is about to take them out. He has more warriors coming in. He has a couple more AVREs rolling in for all of this, and I don't see how Bendover is holding the center zone here, so I believe MEddi should be able to get the tick back that he just lost in the north by taking the center here. And I'm not sure if Bendover can push further on into the northern Gulf zone, so yeah, it's still a really big and close fight here.
Yeah, the middle zone is the weak point, and I think MEddi has recognized this. MEddi realizes, of course, that by definition his division is going to be winning long-range fights, with the chieftains being heavier than anything that can be brought out on the enemy side, and having also pretty nice guns, even though the rate of fire could of course be better. Now, and the chieftains holding the front line here will likely force some kind of a reaction from Bendover. The AT, as long as MEddi has enough supply, the ATGMs are not going to be a reliable way to deal with the chieftains, not in this position. And with the increasing amount of artillery, but this single mortar being left here, which means that it can potentially be used as a smoke launcher, all of this is still building up into a late game combined arms for MEddi. Whereas for Bendover, it's really about the zone. It's everything has been bought there to counter the attack of the Navy SEALs and the NG rifles, or these units. They're not gonna be moving to Foxtrot. They are not a combined arms force. They are purely about countering what MEddi is doing. And I think that might be what in the long term turns this over for MEddi, even if the engagements are going pretty equally for both sides.
Yeah, AVRE coming around. Ooh, the M48s and the Humvee and the Ito in the south. There is a decent amount of AT here still around, so the chieftains still have to be careful here. Eats a front hit. Warrior Pleak now trying to retaliate. Tornado coming around here, trying to prevent anything from hitting that. More warriors actually coming around. I'm not sure how necessary the warriors are in these numbers right now. I would like to see another chieftain instead right now, to just take some long-range engagements with the guns here. But it is what it is. Jaguar HE coming in. Ooh, bombing run against the Yeah, that's a wild choice here. F6 to 15 gets the kill against the Jaguar. Tornado desperately tries to get the kill. Not able to do so, though, as it gets stressed out. Oh, finally, the last missile there finds the hit. Oh, my goodness. Lucky Tornado there. Scout Law on the way in the south as well. It's a classic MEddi game. MEddi might even try to go for the kill there on the artillery pieces here in the rear. And he will find a good amount of value. Bendover has to be careful here. Otherwise, those could be a lot of casualties here, as the scout might find the Eyehawk and gets the first supply truck killed already. Humvee versus Chieftain in the middle, but the M48 already went down. The ITO unit went down. The VADS now goes down to the artillery. The Chieftain still barely alive, but alive. And I think MEddi should get the center zone soon. Lost the CV, but brings another one around already. And keeps even the pressure up in the north with constant artillery fire. Finds the Eyehawk in the rear. Yeah, this is not going well for Bendover whatsoever right now.
Yeah, the 25-point RMPs being the unit of choice might seem a bit weird, but when you realize that against Navy SEALs, every unit is going to lose. So why not have the RMP there? At least the RMP is expendable, and at least the RMP can provide a little bit of extra recon here. When the damage, this is like the worst thing that MEddi could be doing is buying infantry and sending it there to try to challenge the Navy SEALs.
M48s though with the push, the Chieftain didn't get repaired, and there's nothing that can stop these absolutely outdated tanks. But with their good shells, they can punish the Centurion AVREs. Killed one of them, second one already heavily damaged. The Humvee might be able to find that one. And, oh, Bendover might actually be able to hold on here in the center. That was a massive misplay for MEddi. It was a classic MEddi misplay, and that he just didn't care enough about his Chieftain to keep it alive, and that might cost him in the long run. He has another Chieftain coming up at least. Rover Milan finds the kill against one M48. Second one now under fire as well. He gets more Scout Law 80s to do some real line shenanigans, so that is coming along as well. The Tow Cobras finally hunted down the one in the south, but then one in the north just about to set up this as well. But yeah, this Chieftain shouldn't have died, and in the classic MEddi fashion, it did anyway, as Bendover slightly ahead in points here again, so MEddi is the one that has to turn it around now, but is about to capture the center zone here.
Yeah, the Rover Milan actually survived the double salvo from Bendover's artillery, and MEddi has at least, even though it's a bit off point, has actually marked up one of the artilleries to be counter batteried. MEddi's own artillery currently has run out of ammo, which is pretty bad because the armored rifles are right now trying to push into the town here, and a single artillery salvo right there could actually do a lot of damage. The mortar has been put in the smoke task, and Bendover's infantry is already moving backwards to make them more difficult targets for the uplink.
Yeah, Warriors and SAS patrols, they're still getting involved. Artillery from Bendover trying to deal some damage against the Chieftains, starting to do some. And Bendover also getting their CV into the center here again. F-15's out. Intruder number 2 is coming around. F-15 and Tornado trade out as another Eyehawk enters the battlefield here. No other meaningful AA outside of a single Stinger here around on the battlefield right now, so Tornado can stay where it is right now. But yeah, Bendover being able to push MEddi out of the center. MEddi keeps on the fire in the north, but the Navy SEALs can't be hit right now by Warrior Pleaks, and that is pretty big. We have the Scout Law 80 in a nice sneak position here behind enemy lines again. So if reinforcements go into the north, they might just die. Let's see. No, this one is going further south, but yeah, MEddi really with the classic MEddi play here again, and Bendover is absolutely up to fight him on that. Playing a bit more stable, but also up to make it wide and make it complex. Sultan goes down in the north, so MEddi not about to get into that rear zone again. Tornado versus A10. That's a risky fight there for both sides in the head-on. But Tornado gets out for now. Will fly over the Stinger though. Can the Stinger finish the job? It can't quite, as it leaves it at 2 hit points. Jaguar HE coming in again. Will find the CV in the middle. That will allow MEddi to get back in there and get the capture. Intruder gets pushed back in the north and gets killed off as well. But the Corsair comes in for the Track Trap here, finds the kill there. Track Trap here and Javelin in the middle. Can they find the kill? Nope. Track Trap here misses, but at least the Javelin will keep the Corsair out for a bit longer, getting the damage in. So a lot of kills here on both sides. Planes dying on both sides. But in the end, I think MEddi just got a bit better out of the engagement.
The Chieftain leader just dodged that tow missile that absolutely should have hit on that range, and now is running backwards. I'm not sure if it has a smoke. Yes, it does have a smoke left. Oh, this was a MEddi almost losing the only leader currently, the only leader up north. Most of MEddi's mech and current mech reinforcements are going to be attacking the middle here. I think MEddi has recognized after repeated pushes to the forest up northwest that this is not the engagement range that suits him.
Habito barely not hitting the other command chieftain either. And that one is finally starting to get the capture on here. Armored rifles slowly being pushed back by AGLs though. The other Humvito trying to gun for the chieftain as well. And I don't believe this chieftain has any smoke left anymore. Oh, okay, gets a shot out against the Humvito. Humvito missiles coming out. Okay, it still has the smoke. It gets the capture, but I'm not sure how it gets the hell out of there. Artillery really could help out big time. It's going currently for the counter battery though. As in the meantime, the Gazelle rockets find the Navy SEALs in the north. Bendover a bit overextending, losing another Navy SEAL there. And I believe that might be it when it comes to Navy SEAL numbers. And that would make the northern engagements a lot easier for MEddi here.
Oh, and MEddi's counter battery actually hit it, killed the artillery piece, halving Bendover's fire support right now on artillery sides. And with the rest of the mech units attacking, the A-10 missing, rest of the Humvees missing against the Chieftain Mark 11, 2 warrior upleaks going in blind against the Airborne Dragon and a Humvee tow here. This is not the best attack from MEddi's side, with reinforcements coming in on both ends, and the warrior upleaks really should be just positioning themselves on defense.
Oh, A-10 gets the kill against the Chieftain. Tries to find the other one as well. Oh, finds a warrior oblique in the rear, finds the second one potentially as well. No, not quite, but that A-10 getting so much value. They had all the track trapiers, they are all gone. We only have javelins on the front line right now, and we don't have any tornadoes ready for service anymore. And there's not enough recon here right now. MEddi is losing so much lately. He is still having the push going up in the north, but he is about to lose the center here, most likely again. As there is also a new leader here for Bendover, ready to jump back in. MEddi only at 175 points, still behind some points here, and the Chieftain Mark 11 there in the center is completely screwed. He finally brings up more CVs to the more recon to the front line, but yeah, I have no idea how he gets the Chieftain out of there alive. The Humvee tows try to set up the kill. Oh, the one in the south doesn't have any ammo anymore. That might be how he could navigate it out, but obviously he doesn't know that. We know, but he doesn't, and this is a really tough position here. Oh, artillery coming in for it as well. Prowler trying to, I guess, soak some damage. The scout low 80s in the rear in the north try to set up for a new spot as well. And here we go. Humvee tow finds the kill against the Chieftain Mark 11 finally. And yeah, this is an issue. The lack of recon in the middle really punishing MEddi here. MEddi with the M109 trying to do some more damage. Javelins here trying to find some shots. But he's not going to get into the northern zone right now. And he is behind a tick. As now Bendover is back on the +1 here. Starting to get some more points. Second M109, that's a good unit here. If you can find maybe some Humvee tows with those artillery pieces. And maybe kill off the leaders. That could be pretty big. But it's the scimitars and armored rifles still try to find some value here through the north. Scout Law 80 pushing on further around there as well, as they might find the Ito here in the rear line. That could be quite nice. Corsair HE trying to get in here as well. The lack of AA is really worrying for me right now.
Yeah, what I'm seeing on MEddi's front line or MEddi's force here is that it's always lacking something. There was no extra leader getting bought, not even a cheap one, when it was obvious that the chieftain was going to be taken out sooner or later. Now a challenger leader is coming in there finally. There is either a lack of recon, either a lack of fire support, lack of smoke, or a lack of anti-air. And this is, I believe, this is because Bendover has been trading so well, and MEddi's attacks, especially up the northwest position, have just been failing repeatedly. And this means that MEddi constantly needs to be buying the core of the force, more uplink, more armored rifles, more tanks. And this leaves gaps with the supporting units that actually help those core units attack. On defense, you need less recon, less anti-air as well. You need less of everything basically on defense to the defender's natural advantage. And this has allowed Bendover to get an actual like varied force all around the place here, striking down that Jaguar.
MEddi going way too deep with the tornado there. There is an Eyehawk on the battlefield. It's out of ammo right now, so at least that is the case. M109 is hunting for it already as well. Taking the Eyehawk there would be big, so that the tornadoes could do more damage. And later on, oh, Chieftain Mark 11 has to be really careful there. Javelins getting some stress out. Gazelles trying to find a way around. M109 is on top of the Eyehawk. Eyehawk currently not loading back in, so likely will fall. And MEddi also finding some kills again with his Scout Law 80 in the rear here, as he even captures some some M151 trucks there that even might bait out some ATGMs. But the A10, that is the real issue here. And he doesn't have any AA against it anymore. He lost all his tractor peers early on. His Challenger nearly going down there, being spotted from the south. A10 on the way out now, but this is a pretty rough position. And he is not close to get into the north. AO10 finds his Law 80 unit in the rear, and yeah, I'm not sure how he deals with the air at this point.
Yeah, the tornadoes. If the tornadoes could come out in mass, two at a time, and challenge these, then yeah, with this pretty large map, the tornadoes could move from the sides and do a lot of damage. But at this point, with the Eyehawks up and the tornadoes getting shot down, this is the only way forwards here is to put the front line, fill it with track repairs. But track repairs are pretty expensive, and they are not the most reliable, especially not when you need long range anti-air. If you put your track repairs near the front line, you risk them getting hit by any of these incredible amount of ATGMs here, not to mention the artillery.
Oh, and the Challenger is so low. The artillery might take it out. Tornado trying to come around again here, but the Corsair and the Stingers and all the VADS are able to defeat it, and he has a weak Tornado micro here on MEddi's side, something that he just can't afford in this matchup. As MEddi still not on the take, only keeping it from taking further on right now, and still doesn't have a way really on how to get back into the north here. Get some Humvee toes killed, get some more chieftains moving forward, but there are still a couple of them left, and his leader there is not looking hot. His AA situation, yeah, down to more javelins, as they are just not capable to get the kills though. Their anti-aircraft range is not amazing, they only deal 4 damage, so all of that doesn't speak for them. Finally has a supply truck here for the middle, but there is an ITO now. Oh, Challenger Mark 11 gets side-shotted and gets killed off. Oh, disastrous losses there. And yeah, that's what I was talking about early on. Those negligent behaviors with chieftains and challengers, and not getting to the big ball that just can't be stopped, that can take out everything. That's a problem, and it's a classic MEddi problem. He got a lot of damage done on the other side. He is still pretty close, but he is behind. And now the A10s come in, and he has nothing to set that up, and the Challenger is in trouble. Smokes off in time at least, but they had only javelins here. A10s might be even able to kill those. Prowler is relatively irrelevant here, but the javelins, they won't get the kills, and no tornadoes around here anymore. F-15 still on the other side. What do you do here as MEddi at this stage?
Yeah, I mean, you're just gonna, well, as I said, I was thinking when that chieftain got side shot. Well, now he's gonna have to buy another chieftain, and that's 180 points. That is not going to do anything else. The twin javelins here might actually get some shots off against the fighters, but this is at this point of the game, the 10 minutes left, there just is not enough critical mass to go against this. The artillery has been doing excellent work, and combined with good enough recon, they could maybe punch some holes into the defense here. But the defense is in such an incredibly wide front, and the air power means that any time an actual breakthrough is achieved by MEddi can be punished for it.
Yeah, and MEddi's air usage really was pretty lackluster in this. Oh, the F-15 here eating a couple javelins. Might even go down there. Yes, okay. Another F-15 bites the dust. Gets all the javelin positions figured out, but I guess they were known beforehand as well. The artillery from the other side still doing a good job. ACAFs and VADS going down. Scimitars dying on the other side. There are still a couple of ATGM units here, though, and the lack of recon in the middle is still a persistent issue here for MEddi. His recon units got picked off time and time again by AGLs, by the enemy M48s, by the A10s, and that means he just can't see those Humvee toes, and they are impossible to deal with. You can't just eat those TOW2 missiles until your tanks are close enough. So, yeah, more Challenger Mark IIs are coming in here now, but there's nothing to spot for them. There's not a single recon unit here in the center. Only one Scout Law 80 in the north, as he used them all for real line action as well. And without recon, I'm not sure how you do this. RMP is coming in as makeshift recon, I guess, but I'm not certain that will work out well.
Yeah, with the two vet up challengers coming in here, I think this is the MEddi's final plan here, is to just keep going, just see if the units can perform. The recon disadvantage is so huge here. For Bendover has a pretty decent understanding of where the enemy is, even due to the ability to spot some of the reinforcement routes, seeing both of the challenger reinforcements, for instance, currently, and this allows Bendover to just prepare to deal with them. And MEddi going in blind again and again and again is going to have to kill so many units that get to fire first. And the fact that there some time ago there was 2 recon infantry units right there in the front line and no tanks, and now there are 3 tanks, 4 tanks, and no recon units. The lack of variety and the constantly replenishing the losses just leaves these gaps here, and that a casual viewer could not necessarily spot. But yeah, they're very obvious to us. It's painful to see how close the challenges are.
Just coming in, Corsair coming around, A10s are flying here. So yeah, the counter for the Corsairs, for the challengers is already set up. OA10 coming up as well. And MEddi kind of setting up for trying to potentially go into the northern zone as well. Artillery still trying to find some kills around the town, but the M109 in the north is empty again. On the other side, 105mm artillery piece trying to find some javelin kills here. And the tornadoes soon have to disengage here. This one trying to push back the enemy here. OA10, javelins might be able to at least force that back. Yes, they do. So spotting at least not perfect here for the rest of the planes, but the Corsair coming in here now for the hunt, trying to go for one chieftain. And the javelins, they don't quite do it. Tornado, Tornado finally does the job. A10 coming around, trying to find some more damage with the out the AO10 though. Struggling a bit. Javelins there, still around. And the next A10 here pushed back at least. Ooh, Ihawk not quite finding the kill. Lynx Hellarm goes down there. The chieftains and challengers are still alive, but it's only 5 minutes now. Would need a quick resupply, or they just need to go with those low hit points. And we see armored rifles now trying to push through the middle, but the M40s here, the Mark 19 40mm grenade launchers. They are so annoying for all the infantry units of MEddi. And the AO-10 now coming around here. Number 2 of those javelins, kind of out of missiles here. The supply situation not great for MEddi, and I just don't quite see it. The M109 now trying to get rid of the 40mm grenade launcher, trying to get rid of the Humvee toes, but MEddi is just still so far away from getting the points he needs, and it's only 5 minutes now.
Yeah, if anybody wonders why the A10s seem to always perform so well against other planes, that is because the A10s get the best AA missile. They get the AIM-9M, the 65% accuracy one, the same one with the F-16 AA2, and those things allow them just not to mention with the cannon also, even though the cannon's range against air targets has significantly been nerfed, the damage that they can do if you engage them head on is very reliable, way more reliable than a lot of the like AIM-9L equipped fighter bombers that you generally get.
Yeah, and Warrior Obliques here getting shredded by them. The AO-10A still moving around as the javelins are nearly all out of ammo. And no, the Challenger leader goes down. That leaves only one leader, and that is most likely the end of this game, as another Challenger is entering the battlefield, but it's only 4 more minutes and it's 200 points, and that is really hard. Like, that's a pretty big gap on this map. On other maps, maybe not quite as much. Maybe there you can do it in a minute or two, but here you usually need 3, 4, 5 minutes to get that gap closed, and it's even more points now coming in for Bendover. Bendover really playing the 6 playstyle like they needed to. The air game play really focused, taking out track drop here time and time again, investing planes into that, risking some, and losing some as well, but in the end, knowing that track drop here numbers on the other side were limited, hunting down the tornadoes whenever MEddi put them into bad spots as well, and now MEddi is paying for that, as the A10s just kept the tank force to the away, and I don't see how MEddi can do this now. They would need to get at least Charlie and Delta, and they would need to get there now, and there's just too much up there in the north. Tornado coming around, sure, but that's not helpful. That's not a bomber. The bombers are all lost. They went all down, and even the tornado goes down. Everything goes down here, and yeah, really, really well played by Bendover here in Game 1. This was a fantastic show of 6 US.
Yeah, if there really is something that we can learn from all of these 6 games on today's stream, is that the Navy SEALs always perform. You can't really challenge them toe to toe. They are just so damn good. They do the damage and they do the suppression so quickly, and you rarely even see them use the satchel charges because they kill the enemy before they get into the satchel range. But if you happen to have them in a town setting, then they kill the enemy even faster. The AT4s, you see, you have the in the area with the Navy SEALs up northwest, you have this supply truck in the back there. So if the Navy SEALs, let's say right now, go and they kill this Mark 11 command chieftain, they can immediately just run back, supply any little damage that they have suffered, and get some more AT4s, and then they can just be out there in the game very quickly. They regain their with the elite veterancy, they regain their cohesion so fast that as long as you just position the supply units strategically, the Navy SEALs seem a bit unbeatable. They are not unbeatable, of course, but in these certain engagements here, they just always perform to the max.
Yeah, really, really well done by Bendover here. And in the end, with a solid KD thanks to these big kills on the challengers of the A10. The A10 kill lists here are filled. The Navy SEALs, a couple of them got killed off early, but the couple that he kept alive just doing the job. And yeah, those airplane kill lists are just gnarly here.
Yeah, the early on, I think MEddi's opener was really great. I think despite all of its wonkiness, but the problem was that after the opener kind of put in the framework, the siege, all the Milans and recon all around the place, This all could have worked, I think, but if it hadn't been for the Navy SEALs. The Navy SEALs were the ones that actually stopped the push and forced the constant buying of reinforcements. And when the reinforcements started getting bought to keep up the attack, back when no players had gotten any points, and MEddi felt that he still had the advantage tempo and initiative wise. MEddi had the recon unit watching the back line and a bunch of support units all around the place, and a pretty early artillery as well. But if it hadn't been for the stopping of this attack, the center also, I think, would have fallen, because the center only became like attackable after the long standing ATGM net started building all around the place. If there just had been a couple of extra units, couple of units that didn't have to go and siege the northern area, I think the middle would have gone. And if the middle would have gone, the tank advantage would have been way better to deal with. The tank advantage could have actually performed very well, because the middle buildings could have held recon infantry, and the tanks could have been behind the buildings and thus have cover against the ATGMs.
Yeah, it was also a classic issue of a MEddi game where he just couldn't focus and concentrate on one thing. He didn't build up that wall of armor that then you push forward with a couple of scimitars, a couple of recon infantry, and just keep them rolling, smoke off consecutively, and then just shoot down the Humvees when you get in range. It wasn't that his tanks always 1v1 against a Humvee TOW they couldn't see, and that is not a great 1v1 situation for your tank, as Tortu's hurt pretty badly. And yeah, really well done here by Bendover. MEddi, as always, with an interesting play, and I hope we will see more of that, as we will jump into game number 2 here in a second. Short break, and then game number 2 coming up.
Yeah, I just... Chat is saying that applique is pronounced applique. My answer is ha 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 ha. You can't do anything. You can't make me change it. It's
So here we go, everybody. Game number 2 as Bendover is up 1-0. And what is going on here? First of all, I love it. It's a MEddi map, so obviously we are on chemicals, as that is just the perfect MEddi map. And then we also got the perfect MEddi division here. We have 152nd infantry coming around. And then on the other side, we have a map division that just neither fits the map nor the matchup, with 3rd US just trying to be big and stubborn on a map that I don't feel is about those things. So, yeah, what is going on here, Chloride?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Is this the first time we're seeing 152 in the league this
No,
season?
it's not. I think we have seen it in Division 1 group stage at some point. I'm not quite sure who it was anymore,
Okay.
but it's for sure the first time we see it in the playoffs, and it's for sure a really wild choice for this one. So
Yeah, I mean, but let's think about this from let's just completely disregard the 3rd US pick. I don't think anybody could ever explain that. But so let's start out. Though this is a map which really works well with fast deployment. If you have your stuff on the enemy back points, the 2-point large back points, they really work well with forward deployment and helicopters. The Marsuin Eclaireurs, the marine recon units coming in the Pumas. Pumas are 245 kph, so not the fastest, but almost the fastest helicopters around the place, with 270 being the max, I think, or somewhere around the place. The VIBs, the VIB is a great, fast fire support vehicle, which also transports Spec Ops units. It can also shut down the enemy recon helicopter opener, which is so common nowadays, and provide very, very good damage against even not necessarily against like Apaches, but against tow cobras. Absolutely, you can stun them down before their missile hits you, or you can at least put them in low cohesion. A lot of cheap infantry. So if you want to have them flood the island, you can, and it's actually preferable to have cheap infantry do that because you can have basically every corner, something behind every corner, so your enemy needs to overcommit into attacks, and they can't do the kind of slow poking, which is already very difficult to do in that island. The large amounts of recon, 20-point reserve eclaireurs, and large amounts of cheap and light vehicles that you can move around the place. You can send in the back lines. You can have lurking around in the little forests. There are lots of things here that 152 can do, and it's maybe one of the better maps to play them, considering this map is not yet completely figured out, and the opener speed deployment and the follow-up of sending 100 kph infantry all around the place. All of this is I can see the point, but how about the other side? How about Bendover?
yeah,
Why?
well, I mean, from what we see here, Bendover just wants to push through the island, and I mean, the Bradleys are great IFVs. Do you have the Cavs, and you have things, I guess. It's still a bit of a wild choice, but Bendover actually seems to want to make this I just bludgeon you with my force through the center kind of game. And that could work. I mean, 152nd is not really great at dealing with Bradleys, not really great at dealing with M1A1s, and even the ACAFs, the CVs are a problem. So this is still a pretty interesting matchup, though. As both sides not really set up well to fight the other divisions in their strong suits, so it might just be both sides kind of running past each other here for the early game. But I feel like MEddi can take more room and will profit from that in the long run. So yeah, let's see how this all goes.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Bendover has a serious lack of anti-air, and even if you send in the F-15, which is very expensive already, send in the F-15 to defend your mech attack in the middle. But what about when the F-15 leaves and has to refuel, and MEddi sends in some super cheap ATGM helicopters to do some damage? Are you going to buy a second F-15? Are you going to buy a second fighter? It's just the single Chaparral here being the lone anti-air vehicle just seems to be a massive risk. Which side got the choice? Who got the counterpick?
I actually don't know in this case, but yeah, we have the Marines Eclairs coming in here, really, really bold with the Super Puma as well, just absolutely landing into their own demise. We have a Super Puma getting killed off in the north because obviously it's MEddi. He loves to take risks, and he takes the risks no matter how sensible they are. The VIBs here now just running past the scouts. The scouts don't have an AT weapon, so they are a bit of a disaster in that matchup as well. We have VIBs with command layers just already going for the really real line of everything, and yeah, commander layers just setting up into the center here as well. AML 90 is getting shot up left, right, and center. Alouette's getting shot out of the sky by F-15s. Like, both sides just smashing into each other here. MEddi for sure losing more stuff, but as I said earlier, I believe he is the one that got more ground out of all of this. He gets the clear of Delta, he gets Alpha and Charlie, and he is still in the center, whilst MEddi got rid of Bendover on both flanks here. Bendover kind of giving up on Bravo right now. Brings in an M150. If MEddi would have sniffed this out, he could have just pushed right through there. Might even try to do that. Yes, the commander layer setting up to push to Bravo, and that might still work out. So, yeah, wild push here, but at the same time, we have M1A1s in the center, and nothing really there to kill them.
Yeah, but at this point, the M1A1s, there is the scout in the silo tower is a great recon unit and does actually provide a lot of coverage here for the mech blob to go around the place. But if the mech attack starts going further, I think the recon disadvantage will start showing significantly. The also important thing for the viewer, the M2A2 Bradley has 5 front armor. It can survive Milan hits very easily, but the A1 Bradleys, the recon Bradleys and the standard ones, those have 3 front armor, which means they can't. And the M2 Bradleys are more expensive, but the survivability basically means the Bendover once again having the supply already pre-bought there, so that the Abrams here and the Bradleys, if they start getting hurt, can repair as fast as possible. It's going to be a huge problem if these cheap units can put important combat units away from combat by doing damage. The logistics need to be there. Meanwhile, MEddi actually managed to get a Commander Del Air and a VIB from the northwestern bridge into the island here. It's not really in a position to do anything, but it can prevent enemy movement and maybe even take out a commander.
Yeah, the M1A1 surviving there with 2 hit points is pretty fortunate for Bendover. Being able to repair that and cleaning out the infantry push there that MEddi tried to push through completely. But MEddi still on a +4, still on a way to maybe get even more than that by getting Delta on Bravo. And yeah, Bendover, to stop this, kind of needs to win on the island whilst keeping Bravo. Finally gets the Mud CV there to capture Echo and Foxtrot. But MEddi might even try to go for Bravo then, with the long flank around of the to get off the commander lair. Apache's coming in on the other side, and the F-15 here is being annoying as well, killing off some helicopters. The anti-tank capabilities of MEddi are super limited. He has a couple of Apulas around, which can be nice in the middle now, but most of his infantry here coming in with LRAC, and outside of that, the MX-13, not the Abrams killer that you would want it to be. And all the other units in this deck also only having 14 pen on heat rounds, so they can't even one-shot the Bradleys.
Yeah, now interestingly, the Apache ATGM, why buy the Apache ATGM if you can buy the one with the rockets? Oh, the VIB actually opening fire and doing a lot of nice damage against the Apache, but MEddi is sending the Bradley to clean it up here. But the Apache now might be in a one-shot range for a Mistral, but there are no Mistrals on the ground. two of them getting bought immediately as the Apache reveals itself.
Yeah, MEddi also having the VIB in the rear line there. Commander Lair running a bit away from the M3A1 Bradley. Bradley still hunting. The Wasp launcher is still filled, so that's a bit risky there from Bendover. First one does miss, second one does hit though, and the third one gets the kill there. Expensive Bradley biting the dust as Bendover, feels the need to push deeper in the center, wants to stop the take, as MEddi is about to get into Delta, is about to bring more units around there to get towards Bravo later on as well. And the center fight here, the infantry of Bendover, not the strongest, so he needs his combined arms come together. Bradleys and Cavs can do a lot of work there, but they are not quite online just yet. And MEddi once more with the military police units here, bringing in everything he can to stop this from pushing through all the way.
Oh, the CEV getting destroyed by the Apilas here. And now with the Reservistas going in touching distance to the Engineer Dragon, importantly, they took out the scout unit already. And there is currently only a single other recon unit on the whole, no, actually 2 recon units on the whole island, another one on the western part and another one on the southern part. So currently, especially as these Engineer Dragons and the M60s are getting taken out, the visibility of the mech force will significantly diminish. A reservist VAB actually hunting down the command jeep here and getting a nice bursts against it.
Yeah, second one coming around as well. Oh, the mud is so low. Reservist trying to push forward, trying to just kill it off with HE, attacking the Chaparral instead though. Reservist VAB there, being hunted down, being killed off, so the Mud CV does survive. But at the same time, MEddi already on a +3 and about to go to a +7, as the M201 PC in the north is about to get into Bravo. There's no CV there. There's even a Commander Lair to protect all that, with a VIB that could also stop any helicopter from hunting it down.
Oh, the Apache going down there in a burst. Oh, that was that was the Cerber, the Special Forces AA gun that the 152 gets. Insane range and aiming speed.
Yeah, and the Milan 2s here still doing a pretty good job as well. Super 8 and Dart being sent in against the Phantom and the Eagle. That's a bit over eager. Goes down. This time around though, way better manpads here for MEddi and not as much bombers or anything like that you can bring around as third, so not to worry about the air dominance as much in this one. Eclair 20 millimeters going down, VAB is going down, but those are all relatively unimportant units as long as MEddi keeps the +4, now +5 in a second, and about to go to a +7 up, as that will just turbo speed him here through the 2,000 points he needs to win the game. And defenses in themselves, and Bendover now needs to clean out Bravo and then maybe push even deeper towards Delta to stop the take for good, as he will get really close to defeat here with that +7.
Yeah, the M2A2 Bradley with a Fireteam Dragon that is getting bought here for Bendover is 125 points. When you have that kind of unit, and as a core of your force, you're just gonna have gaps. We're now seeing 2 Kiowa Warriors and an F-15 Eagle going out there try to secure Bravo, but they are going to drive directly into the VIB. Oh, but Kiowa actually getting the first shot off with its better recon, and now the Commando de Lair are going to be sitting there, and the Kiowas can't really do anything against that. The 2 Kiowa attack was maybe a little bit of an overcommitment, and it's gonna take some time before any leaders can be bought. And the weakness of third being the expensive units means that the map control all around, they just can't do that map control as well, and they can trade, and we're seeing the trading. The CEVs here are in great position. Another batch of engineers and scouts here to work as a front line. Meanwhile, Crusaders, the last gunfighters, trying to hunt down an Eagle here and actually managing to take out a Kiowa Warrior.
Yeah, Eagle being pushed back, Commander Lair setting up to try to get some more damage in here and maybe get the kill to this Mud CB as well. as the Kiowa Warrior goes down. The CV in the middle moves in again, so the +7 is back. And yeah, there needs to be something quick for Bendover. Has to buy another F-15 here, though. That's not what you want to buy at this moment in time. ML90s here, trying to be sneaky. Oh, Commander Lair, find the Mud CV. The Mud CV, luckily not in AT range, though. Kiowa getting to engage the ML90s. Doesn't get the kill, though, as a lot of blue units die right now in the middle, trying to push the CV out of there. Maybe a bit of an overextension there, as Bendover needs to get the push going on there as well, not just in the center. Oh, the Mud CP didn't get the capture, though. It needs to get back in there. Yeah, Hawks coming around. They will clean the job. Mirage 3Es nearly killing off the Eagle. Eagle can Mirage can continue against the Hawks, not getting a kill though, and shouldn't fly over the center. Next Crusader coming up. No AA there in the north. All the Stingers are positioned in the centers. All the Chaparrals, they try to get the kills from out of there. The Crusaders flying pretty close there, as it's finally only a +3, but that's still a 4-minute timer here going on. F-15 Eagle number 3 coming around. That's another massive investment.
The artillery on the bridge first shots the Mud CV, getting the only leader that there is currently on the island for Bendover.
Yeah, now the PC off, MEddi will go active again. He's moving it around again. Super 8 and Dart trying to, and finds the Cav. F-15 not able to kill it off. Phantom here being brought in to quickly retaliate. But Bendover could go for Delta. He has to realize it though, that he is in a desperate position, needs to make desperate moves. Kiowas and Hawk just running to Delta, getting the CV there. That would work right now. He is on the 2-minute 40 timer. He needs to do something quickly here. He is holding out in the center. He has the better KD by now. His F-15's cleaned up nicely, but he needs to get those points going. And yeah, he's still waiting for the reload. I don't think he can wait for that. Oh, the Hawks actually going for the middle. That's not where they are needed. You need to get Delta here. He doesn't know how little Delta is defended. He didn't really have a count on how far ahead he is in the KD here, and that there's most likely nothing there. He is still worried about all of that, but he needs to take gambles. The gamble would be Delta. He's not taking it. Oh, this is not looking good here for our player in red right now.
Yeah, the fact that the Crotals can be around the place is something to threaten. The helicopter movement. Now a Kiowa Warrior and a CEV are moving into Delta, most likely going to find out that it's completely safe to go in there. But the fact that the Crotals are so maneuverable and have 100 kph road speed, you should. They are basically the French OSA, even though this one is getting taken out by 50 cal in just a second. The Crotal movement could stop this helicopter push very quickly now.
Finally, the Mud CP is getting to move, but it's only 1 minute 25 now. It will get there just barely in time, but that means MEddi only has to get points somewhere else. He has a new CV attacking Foxtrot. There is finally a new CV from Bendover around there as well. That one going for Hotel right now. F-15 in the skies again, together with some Phantoms here. Crotel around trying to shoot them. Not able to get the kill there, as the Mud CP is about to get in there. Is about to get that point captured. Ooh, the stabilization of the 3rd US might happen here after all. 15 minutes into the game, but how much longer can they keep it up? Kiowa Warrior actually trying to get the kill here against the Crotel. Not successful of that one. That was maybe a bit much. Heavy MG Bendover Jeep is on the lookout towards Delta though. And yeah, there is now a bit of time again here. And Bendover might even get his own take online for a while. Is about to run over the metal here for MEddi. And MEddi needs to find a way of getting just 111 more points here.
Yeah, the infantry reinforcements coming in on the eastern part of the island here do seem a little bit desperate, but if a single overextension from Bendover, a single piece of bad control could actually swing the balances here really quickly. In this area, the fast reinforcing 152 can afford to lose units relatively well, and there's actually No, the Milan did not side shot the M1, but there is a Marsu in Apilas, and it is in a position where it's basically only ever going to start firing if the Abrams give it an ability to do a side shot. And yeah, with the even if the reinforcements here cannot necessarily fight the Abrams straight up. Oh, here we can see is the Marsu in Apilas going to be amazing value in just a second.
Ooh, Bradley number 1. No, it gets for the Abrams. It misses. It gets the Bradley. Second shot. Gets the CV. Disengaging afterwards. The P4 goes down though. The CV there is now getting hunted down by the Hawks. The Mistrals all have been cleared out. The artillery piece on the bridge is under fire. So, yeah, this situation is not developing nicely. Commander Lair coming in though. They can deal with the helicopters. We have another CV being bought here. Another VAB trying to go around. But there is the Kev. There is the...
the Hawks run out of ammunition and now the VIBs can shoot them.
Yeah, so... But the more important part is the VAB PC in the north. Like, if that can get to Delta, that would be big. The TRM 2000 might have revealed where the 50 cal Jeep is, though the VAB needs to get there. It will go straight by it. I'm not sure the 50 cal Jeep is able to kill it. The Phantom Cluster might be able to, but if you get your couple of fighters
the overextension is getting punished here. No, the Etentards, M1 Abrams smoking against the Etentards, and a cluster plane does not get to drop its bombs here, but does shoot down the second Etentard.
Yeah, that other one is going super deep, going for a supply helicopter out of all things there. Bendover still having way more on the battlefield though. I don't see how MEddi is turning that around outside of that VAB PC. It is now going the long way around. Oh, Apache ATGM immediately gets bought, trying to intercept that, trying to stop that from getting the capture point. There is no CV in the middle though, so even the Delta point might not be enough here anymore, as the middle is about to be fully captured, and then that +4 would but just be neutered. So MEddi needs to get the points somewhere else. Where can MEddi find these points here right now?
The Crusaders are still in MEddi's air tab, and the Crusaders could maybe swarm the Apache. The VAP PC dodges the 50 cal recon car, and 2 more leaders transported in VABs, so 100 kph, have been bought. So yeah, I think this is just just going to try to sneak them in.
Super 8 Dart coming in for the M1A1 out of an angle that I don't think was expected. Good kill there. And 2 more CVs coming in. Yeah, MEddi just going all out for trying to just get the points here. I believe he has spotted the HGM with the Commander Lair. The Crotel is out of ammo, so that can't do the job, but he might still have some planes to do it, allowing the VAB to come in, allowing his CVs potentially also to get through the middle. The Commander Reservist coming through there. His Milan and Commander Lair units that are in the rear line here being all stopped by that one Bradley, as the VAB is patient. The 8 Apache is hunting here. Crusader AA on the way. Oh, VAB actually reveals itself there. Oh no, it gets the kill.
Amazing. Oh, 50 cals are so good.
The 50 cal gets the job done, and oh boy, the VAB is now able to move in with the CVs in the middle. One runs into another 50 cal Jeep here, but it has its own reservist VAB with it. Where's the other one going? The other one is going the long way through the south, going towards Gulf that way. And there is only 1 CV here in the middle. 2 CVs of MEddi could play a bit of catch, as the VAB of MEddi in the north in Delta is also then trying straight to go for Bravo.
Maximum scale.
Tokobra being brought around. Mirage 3E is on the battlefield.
The Crotal should
have spotted, yeah,
the Tokobra.
Oh, this is... Where's Tokobra? It's supposed to do it. Bendover does not expect that to go wrong, but it will go wrong here. And then the way to Bravo is nearly open as well. Okay, military police patrol units coming out around as well. Delta will be captured. The Cav not able to follow the fast VAB. And the VAB actually might want to run out the other way around and go to Bravo through the northern route instead of the more predictable route here. MEddi, always a clever guy. No, he goes straight for Bravo. Oh boy. Okay, about to change the tick here as his VAB from the southern route about to get to the center as well. The one from the north had to be stopped because an M1A1 was around. Masserines get killed off by the military police there that hold the bridge. But the southern route is still open. Mirage still moving around. He didn't capture Delta! MEddi, what? Oof. Oh no. Now the VAB has to make it in here. Oh, the military police.
Now the MP patrols.
They're not on unload. They're not unloaded yet. Air Micro might go first
this is
here.
a tragedy. This is a tragedy of the
They just run by.
maximum scale.
He's busy elsewhere as MEddi makes him care about everything going on everywhere at once. The MEddi CV from the south is still stuck. I'm not sure. It seems to be fully stuck. It can't move.
MEddi.
But MEddi gets the rear zone. MEddi is about to get the full zone. The military police. One of the military police actually get killed by the VAB. The other one not able to follow. MEddi is on a +2 here. There is a Bendover CV coming into the rear zone in the north though. MEddi needs to get the command CV over the bridge. Okay, it's finally moving in there. He is at Bravo. He is going to be killed there though. The military police, takes him out. The CV Mutt is about to capture it. He is on a +2. He is getting 80 points per minute. And he might get to another +2 here in the middle right now. He moves the others command reservists from the north as well. They found an empty spot. He is getting in there. He is getting the point. He's a +1. He is only 80 points away. There is a CV in that zone, but in the other one there isn't. He will go to a +3 with that one, as he is in now there as well. +2 for now. His CV on the other zone has to survive. He got the TRM 2000 back that he lost there earlier, allowing his reservist VAB to... no, they don't have smoke. Nothing here has smoke for him, but he is on a +2. He is about to go to a +3. Bendover should move his CV to be able to switch between the zones so that he can prevent the +3 from happening. Is not doing that, and the +3 is now happening. Only 10 seconds, and MEddi might do it after all. Oh, the CV Mutt in the rear is just so close. But yeah, Bendover didn't move the other Mutt CV. He's only moving it now. It is a bit too late though. 10 seconds on a +1. Is this CP Mutt capturing it fast enough? No.
3.
It's not
2,
capturing fast enough.
1.
MEddi is doing it. Oh, what a MEddi game. And the KD.
54 KDR win. 0.54 KDR win.
It's so beautiful that MEddi delivers every single season. One of those games comes up every single season, and that's why we love this Medlet. He made a lot of people rage quit Warno in ranked games where he beat them with half the kills that they had because he did something like this to them. And oh boy. Okay, we have a game number 3 coming up, guys, because MEddi is a Medlet.
Yeah. Whew, I don't know. Do we need to give it any more commentary or analysis for that? I'm sure it could have been done differently or more efficiently, but I don't think I think very few people are prepared to play Third Armored versus 152 games on this map here. The overextension happened eventually. It wasn't as punishing as it could have been, but even then, what MEddi did really well was use the VIBs and use the inherent numbers and speed advantage to gain map control. The fact that the Crotal with 0 ammunition left was one of the most crucial units because it provided the air spotting for on the other side of the map, to the point where in the end there was actually an engineer dragon that was sent to hunt for it. But those things have 85 kph off-road speed, so they can just run off from everything. And I don't know. I don't have anything to say. Do you?
No, that was fantastic, and I hope we will get a game number 3 like this as well. I'm in love with this Medlet from Sweden. MEddi is just wild, and I'm so happy he's here. I'm so happy he's back in Division 1 next season already, and I'm ready to see him go to the finals. But Bendover, has been great today as well. Like, the first game was a masterpiece of 6. This one was a masterpiece of getting good kills. Just wasn't quite good enough at getting points. And yeah, let's see what map number 3 will bring, as I'm pretty sure it won't be a map like Chemical again.
Yeah, like if those MP patrols would have been there earlier, if you just had them there before the enemy was doing the backline action, had like a single scouts unit up in the tower to spot for your planes and helicopters, well, it all could have been completely different. But it is the single-mindedness and the blobbiness of the third armored, where you have so few units, and losing a single one of them can easily like take away half of your minute's income. And when you have the expensive units, you don't want them to be unsupported, so you always build everything around those expensive units. And this allowed and left the sides too open. I think Bendover was also expecting there to be stuff like the Milan cars and the VIBs and all the rest of those raiding units on the sidelines. So he was reluctant in sending anything except helicopters to fight in the sidelines.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we're already on. Damn.
Let's go on to the next one, guys, and let's get into game number 3. I'm so ready for this.
Yeah.
And here we return, everybody. Game number 3, and oh boy, it is a 30 US again for Bendover, but it's a way better map this time around, as we are on Vertigo. And MEddi brings around the follow-up to his OG favorite divisions. He was always a GDR kind of player. He played a lot with 7th and 4th back in the day, and now it's the 9th in his hands here, and I'm excited to see what we got here. BRM and our players already going to spread out a lot over the battlefield here. We already have some Storm S from the get-go, double here for the south, and is that a setup for a northern push? Like, I'm excited. Whatever it is, it's going to be exciting. And if you want to support these players, consider doing so on Meterino, as that one is the space where we have the crowdfunding ongoing for this tournament. And we're already at $327.50, but yeah, $400 is where the Division 3 winners also get something. So if you want to help out these players, get a little reward and a bit more motivation, check that out. As for these two here, it already goes over $25 for Division 2 winners. So getting into the finals here keeps the chances alive for that. And obviously Division 1 gets the lion's share there. And yep, we're gonna have the grand finals there on Saturday, so be hyped for that. Saturday 5 p.m. Western European time, and yeah, be around for that. It should be really great between Bo is me and Scuff, two absolutely fantastic players.
Yeah. So I am looking in to MEddi's deployment here, and is it just me, or is a lot of this stuff like there's some pretty presumptuous positioning going on here, especially when you know that everybody's always going to open with a Kiowa warrior on this map, even if the MI2 Urn can get there in time to challenge the Kiowa. First of all, that's inefficient. You should probably use a fighter instead, and then have that fighter get killed by a phantom. But what is this thing about the BRM just fast moving to the enemy side of the map? That's a BRM. That's 75 kph on road. It can't do that kind of stuff. And the second BRMs are going into is going into a more reasonable position. Even then, could maybe be just a slightly just slightly more careful about this. But I guess looking at the rest of MEddi's deployment is that this is a we have seen earlier that 9th Panzer and 20th Panzerna are basically, they're the cousin divisions. They are the T-72 pack divs in the Northak. They share a lot of the same units, but not all of them, of course. And 20th is really good with openers. They have strong, efficient, fast deployed recon that can take ground and provide very reliable spotting for all the tanks, all the aircraft. But the 9th does not have that. They need to use the standard Aufklärers and the BRMs. But instead, they get stuff like the Napalm artillery. They get the T-72S, the high-tech T-72 with an actually good missile of 2,800 meter range. And here in the opener, we see them use the T-72 Move 2, which is maybe the most difficult tank to pronounce correctly.
It's easy. It's
And-
MUV, obviously.
MV.
Kampfpanzer T-72 MUV 2. Oder
I love
M-Übergangs. It's Kampfpanzer T-72 M-Übergangsversion 2.
I love German efficiency. So this thing is maybe the best discount T-72, considering unlike other discount T-72s, this one has smoke and 16 armor. It is I believe it's the lore correction here is that these are like a group of tanks that got refitted in Czechoslovakia, I believe, which is why they have the smoke launchers. And these things, you want to have the discount ones early if you're blobbing with the tanks. Oh no, the tanks don't have a command order. What the? No! Oh, okay. Now finally,
it's all planned. It's MEddi.
Is it actually planned?
No, it's not. But it's a classic MEddi move of, like, he did that a lot of times in the past, and in Division 1. Back in the then, there was no button up there. By now, there's this button up there that tells you that you have units that don't have orders. But even now, MEddi is the one person that still is capable of ignoring that button and just being like, yeah, everything is fine. Obviously, the game can start, and then all his tank blobs are not moving.
What if he just never clicked that? But what if he just thinks like, oh, I don't know, it's just some useless UI element. Now the MI2 Urn getting taken out. Kiowa Warrior has a free range. Okay, so the BRM changes its direction immediately. Is not going the incredibly daring path through the middle, which was never going to happen anyways. The Kub, Shilka, and 3 tanks. This is about as much of all-in that you can go. And Vertigo, Southern Pattern Vertigo is an all-in area, of course. The moves are taken because having the numbers early on, especially having the numbers with veterancy, can allow you to have tank fights 3v1. 3v1 against Bradleys, 3v1 even against Abrams. You can actually start taking out those crucial units early on and then use that as a launching board to reinforce and take ground and start buying the better tanks. Now, a lot of the times, 9th players play more passively. But you don't want to play passively against third.
Oh,
Nobody wants.
no. The SPW in the north that was supposed to just get some easy captures here will get
No.
killed by a Recon 50 cal Jeep. Oh, this is pain for MEddi. Yeah, the Phantom there coming around nicely. The BMP-1's just straight sending it there. Storm goes down in the south here against the M150. That's a bad loss as well, but the T-72s are in here now. Though on the other side, we have an M1A1, we have Bradleys, we have a lot of ITOs, and oh no, the first MEV is eating it. The T-72 MK goes down. Oh, this is disaster already. The Storm goes out there without any smoke, without any speed, and the M1A1s here are winning the duel already. MEV both down to 2 hit points, and this is an absolute disaster. The Storm can't escape. It's going to go down. The BMP-1 can't do much. BRM-1, the only thing here still around. Modschützen in the center are kind of lost there. The MEV now under fire by a lot of ATGMs. Kiowa Warrior coming around to get the kills as well. And there goes the T-72. Abrams hunting it down. Storm about to die. The Coop not able to hit the Kiowa. And oh no, this is a disaster. Everything is dying. And yeah, this just wasn't the game plan to work.
Yeah, you remember that game of where Stardek actually did the tank rush up north? This was exactly what I was preparing for, except that these are TOW2s instead of Milans. The Bradleys get the TOW2s two-shot, the T-72s easily. There's one Bradley CFV in a spotting location, revealing all of their movements to the rest of the tanks, meaning that the Abrams could stay hidden if they wanted. Kiowa Warrior also with 24 pen easily dispatches these 16 armor units. Now a Su-22 AT is going to go out there, and there's only a single Chaparral currently doing the defense. Missing and not being able to fire the second one.
Yeah, not getting the kill into the M1A1. This is kind of over. If he would have gotten that kill there right now, I could have seen some light on the horizon where he maybe stabilizes this. But at this point, Bendover can just take the north and the south right now, and that basically means GG on this map. Like, the F-15 will now take out the Mi-2 Urn. He can invest into as many airplanes as he wants to keep his M1A1 that is still alive. The M1A1 already back repaired up, can just move forward. He has enough Bradleys. Like, 9th is supposed to be a division that carries its momentum forward, and it's not standing still right now. It's walking backwards, and that is not what you want to do right now.
Yeah, the Motorschützen are literally retreating.
Yeah, the MEV is going deeper into the forest. This is so it here. It's a classic follow-up of a great MEddi game is a MEddi game that just completely belly flops, and I'm pretty sure we have Bendover in the finals because I just don't see how this can turn around right this stage.
Yeah, this would that would have to be the overextension of a lifetime from Bendover to actually lose from this position.
And I mean, he doesn't even need to go anywhere. Like, he is on the +1, and he only needs to get the 4 zones in the middle. Then he will be on a +4. That will be putting MEddi on a spot where he just can't. Oh my goodness. What a massacre. What a well-executed defensive setup there from Bendover, and what a what a shamble of a push from MEddi, expecting to get through with that. I mean, that was just a bit much. And yeah, Vertigo maybe not quite the map for these daring strikes like this.
Yeah, that was like the thing about that defense was it was well executed, but it was also completely standard. There was nothing unpredictable about it, and it was just a perfect counter to what MEddi was doing there. And I didn't know, like, if there had been like a BRM up in the front there to maybe spot the Bradleys and allow for an engagement, but instead they just drove down and had their side armor showing against the enemy with no recon to spot to spot these. You do get recon helicopters as 9th. You could have sent one of those out there. A lot of different things could have been done there, and like, damn, I don't know what MEddi was thinking, frankly.
Yeah, and yeah, in the end, Bendover is the deserving winner of this. As even in game number 2, he outperformed MEddi in the classic ground battle engagements, and in game number 1 and 3, he just kind of styled on him here. So deserved in the finals. I still am amazed that we have MEddi back in Division 1. I'm really looking forward to see him. I didn't quite expect him to do this well this season. He still made it to the semifinals. He got MJ player here in the quarterfinals. He played a good group stage, getting out there second after Pure Tenor, showing all those new show-ups who the bosses really are. The old guard still has it. They only made it to the semifinals, but that's still enough to bring them back next season, and I'm really happy with what we got here. I'm really happy with this grand final that we have coming up as well. That will be played on Friday night. I will see if I can cast it live. Otherwise, we might cast it before the grand finals on Saturday or on Sunday. More information there soon to come. But yeah, this should be really fun as well. Jeremy versus Bendover, as those are the two that come out of the same group as well. They know each other as well. 2 American players out of the American group here. And yep, doing a really, really good job there as well. And I'm really excited to see what this will bring, as this should be a really good match between 2 guys that are on the forefront of innovation as well. So, yep, any final words from your Chloride here?
Nothing, except I also am very happy about the way the games have been going in League, and I just want to promote the Finnish military equipment naming convention, which is taking the full name of the weapon or the equipment, removing letters from it until it becomes easily pronounceable, and then having a number and a second number to give caliber and date of adoption. Perfect system, perfect naming convention. Actually, unbeaten by everybody, and it is largely only possible because Finnish language is so different that we can do tricks such as that.
So yeah, today we learned, guys, what the MUV means. Today we learned more about Finnish conventions. So don't say that you don't learn anything here, guys. It's basically school as well. So yeah, all the education you need. And with that said, guys, we bring it to the end, and let's send you over to Murdoch, who's playing a bit of squad over there. And yeah, let's have some fun
and
over
by
there.
the way, just regarding the school, I have actually gotten 5 points of credits in university for participating in the league, because this is considered charity work.
Nice. So yeah,